your contract, guys.
Hey, you guys. Hi, babies. How are you? I saw a lot of you in that guy's chat. It was so nice to see so many familiar like faces, voices, screen names in there. It was fantastic. People just like shouting out the truth, and it was great. So if you were in Mr. Legal Mindset's chat, he just finished when I went live. So I'm like, please finish, please finish. We are definitely going to be reacting to that live stream right now. So if you missed it, we're going to cover it. I watched most of it. I had to dip out for a little bit, but it was interesting to see his take, right? And I know his mods were really like adamant, like we're just focused on the legal stuff. So yeah, I'm kind of coming off a high from that chat, and it was super fun, and it was great to seeing everybody in there. And yeah, so let me say hi to people who are in the chat. Let's see, Panda, hello, Yas, Bent Face Clown, thank you so much for these super stickers. I saw them really early this morning. Thank you so much for that. Appreciate you. I appreciate who else is here. Let me scroll down. You guys had fun with chat this morning. I see that. Lisa, nice to see you. Secret Squirrel. Oh my goodness. I saw your super chats to that legal mindset guy and the generous gifted memberships. Secret Squirrel. I mean, a round of applause. I think you gifted like 50 to his channel. I was like, holy crap. That was so generous. Like, that's so awesome. Welcome. Mags, hello. I'm sorry you're having a bad day with your teeth. I hope everything goes okay. I hope you're comfortable now at least. Hope you get better soon, honey. Hello, Nia. Oh, hell no. Hello. Giant Stonehead. I saw you this morning too. Just me. Thank you so much for the well, Lori, thank you so much for the gifted memberships. Just Me 31, actually 91 just got it. So thank you so much. Just Me 91. Please enjoy the emojis and the burger. Thank you, Lori, as always. Peter Princess, Belly Hadid. Hello, Mila. How are you? Jay, nice to see you, honey. You little cutie. How are you? I am Cat Lady 7. Hello. Hi, Lisa. Let me see. Annabelle, hello. Mila Rose, Rosa, nice to see you. Boston Mama, hello. I saw you this morning too. Welsh, I also saw you. Hello. Heather, Rat Snacks, hello. Fridge, Jane's Palace of Pixels, hello. Yeah, that was great. That was fantastic, Annabelle, wasn't it? Hey, Jordy, how are you, honey? Nice to see you. Let me scroll down some more. Stumbling, hello. Hollister Denim Dress, good morning, honey. How are you? Nice to see you. Jacqueline, hello. I'm still scrolling, guys. Hold on. Combat Wombat, hello. How are you? Nice to see you. I haven't seen you in a while. Maureen, nice to see you as well. Who else we got? Kendra, Neri, hello, honey. The Bergie 4, hello. Good to have you here and enjoy our little community. Who else we got? Sniper Love, hello. Belly, I said hello. Pussycat 111, good afternoon. How are you? Let me see. Keyboard Slut Fair Edition. You know I love it. How are you? I think I got everybody in the chat. If you're new here, welcome. My name is Farrah. And welcome to our little community. Put a 1 in the chat if you watched that live stream, the legal mindset. I'm just curious. I know a lot of you were in there. Did SZ stay for the lawyer live? 31 frames. Yeah, I posted on Twitter this morning. I was in the legal mindsets chat like hours ago because at first I thought he was going to go live earlier. He did not. He pushed it back, which is whatever. So I was in there just talking to some random people, and I saw someone in there, and their screen name was like SZ33 something, a bunch of numbers. And it was interesting because they were like, where's the screenshot? Let me find it. Hold on. I took a picture on my phone. They said, this story is boring and really amounts to nothing. And then they also said a little bit later, waste of time to even cover this nothing burger. And I thought that was interesting. I thought it was interesting that they said nothing burger. That's a common phrase, but Chantal does use that phrase. And that person was in there just for a little while that I saw because the chat was just, there was over 5,000 people there. The chat was just nuts. Hey, Soft Kitty. Hey, everybody just coming in. Nice to see you guys. So that person kind of stood out to me. Their name was, like, again, SZ33809. Could it be Chantal? Could it be a Beezer? I don't know. But it, like I said, that person like stood out to me for some reason. It could have been a sock. Yeah. And you know she was there. What happened? Pussycat. So a large channel, this guy's name is Legal Mindset. He's a lawyer. He has a YouTube channel, and he just reviewed on a live stream Foodie Beauty this morning, just now. So we're going to watch that. We're going to react to his reaction. So that Foodie was definitely in that chat. She was 100% in that chat. You're offline for 2 weeks. Your paycheck's going to be like a nothing burger. Yeah. So you liked him? Yeah, he seemed pretty like mellow. He seemed, but here's my problem. I love it when the bigger channels like that, like he had 264,000 subscribers. And then as I'm watching him, he flipped to 265. So he's got 265,000 subscribers. This guy's got a lot of subs. And I understand, like, when, especially big channels, they dip in and out of communities just to get the story they want to cover, and they leave. That they don't know the lore, right? Which is fine because it's a lot, as we know. We've been here almost 10 years, right? Like we're sick in the head, obsessed weirdos about Chantal, whatever. And I understand they can't always, know everything and know all the backstory, but the backstory is so important because if it wasn't for this community beating the drums when everyone else tells us we're crazy, we're obsessed, there's something wrong with us, no one, like, she dirty deletes everything, right? So like, it would just be, no one would have any of that information. No one would have the lore. No one knows that she used to go outside at night, high off her ass, and drive around in the rain, in the pouring rain, laughing when she would run over hopping frogs across the road. And we're the bad people because we call her out on it. So I do love seeing new, fresh eyes looking at this stuff because it makes me feel not so nuts. When I see like people who have no idea about Foodie come in with the same opinion, with the same mindset as us, like it just makes me feel like, okay, we're not the crazy ones, right? Like, because we get so like mired in all of it. You know what I mean? Yeah. So you could have a BA degree on Chantal. Yeah. Like it's pretty crazy as she is now deleting Kuwaiti videos. I'm sure she is. So, and that person that donated, not Sarah Lee. She comes in here once in a while. That's not Chantal. She donated like $50. Like, that's not Chantal. So everyone knows. I know, Cam, some nuts. Like, keep in mind where we are, guys, and we're in a chat like that. We're not the only ones in there, and we're a rowdy bunch. Not all of us, but there are rowdy corners and pockets of our community. Like, we gotta like make sure that we're in public, you guys. This is a Wendy's, ma'am. Morning, Meg. How are you? Oh, I'm sorry, Linda. I'm usually live at noon Eastern. So, but anyway, so we're gonna watch this guy, Legal Mindset. We're gonna watch his brand new stream. We are talkative, that's for sure. I would keep the chat that like I said, he just finished his live, so I won't be able to pull the chat from the beginning. Let me see. Let me just refresh. Let me see if I can, because it's not rendered. Super chat. Bergie says, been following you for a while. Thank you for your takes. Foodie Beauty is no foodie and certainly no beauty. Well, thank you so much for the generous super chat. I appreciate you. I appreciate all my lurkers who come here and just have a good time quietly. I do appreciate that. So thank you so much. Thank you. I love it. All right. Let me just switch over here. Let me see if I can get the live chat pulled up like normal. Let me see. Okay. Sorry, I'm just trying to reload his stream. Live chat is gone. Okay, so we can't read the chat, but it's okay because the chat was wild. The chat was absolutely wild. Let me switch over. I know, Mrs. Camps. Like, I do the same thing. Like, people think I'm nuts because I watch this, but it's like, listen, you guys watch your shitty shows. This is my shitty show, okay? I don't watch a lot of reality TV, so this is my reality TV. All right, so let me move this over. Okay, and we're going to watch this. "31 frames. Does anyone get a comment on a foodie video that would definitely get deleted to see if she deletes it? I can't. I'm blocked. So, Secrets Girl, thank you so much for the super chat. I tried to keep up with the chat, and there's only one person I saw in defense of Chantal, and he needed to look into why she was bullied all the time. Oh, okay. Yeah. Thank you so much for the support. The chat was flying so fast. I know they put slow mode on it a bunch of times, but it was just not slow enough for me. I was like, someone would say hi to me, and then I would try to like say hello, and 10 pages later, like it was just, yeah, it was bad. But thank you for the support. Yeah, Timo, I agree. So I think it was a Welsh. I don't know if Welsh Assure is still in here. Welsh Rarebit asked if legal legend, what's his name? What's his name? Sorry. Legal mindset. Sorry, legal legend. Legal mindset had ever heard of Tracy or Teardrop, but I'm like, there's no way. Well, that's what I mean. Like, you have to really know the lore to know who Tracy and Teardrop are. You know what I mean? Like, and what their backstories are. You think they should have had more viewers? Yeah, listen, that was all us. I've never seen that guy before, so I don't know how normally or people are in this chat normally, but there was 5,000 people in there. I mean, it was wild. Yabo was live. She had her normal viewers, and yet there was a lot of people in his chat. So I was like, I wasn't sure if anybody was going to come in mine today. I was like, maybe I'm not going to have anybody in there, but there's a lot of people. Hey, AK, how are you? Nice to see you. I didn't see Strawberries and Cream if she was in there. But again, the chat was like, he's 6'6". Oh, cool.
Oh, shit. Here we go again.
GTA.
Low, man.
So this guy, I looked into him a little bit. He has a second channel. He's an American dude who lives in Asia now, lives in Thailand. And he's got a whole other channel about moving from the West to the East. If anyone's interested in this guy.
Low, man.
You like contracts, right? You're a contract guy.
Ladies and gentlemen, we got him.
What's up,
Annabelle?
everybody? It is, of course, Legal Mindset. Andrew Esquire, American attorney, living over here in Asia. And this is the channel where we teach you to be your own judge. And we've got a good one today talking about foodie beauty in Kuwait. And I see the chat is already ready for it. The fandom is already ready for this crossover. This is one that I was requested for the past month and a half to 2 months. I've been getting emails on this one, and I have not had a moment of time to go into.
I wonder why he said almost a month, whatever, month and a half. I wonder what they were messaging him about. What happened a month ago? Was it the month ago? Was it Chuck E. Cheese? I wonder why they reached out to him before the cat. You think he's pretty hot? Hey, Lee Scannon.
To dive into this issue until recently.
That's true. 31 frames. We do have
there have been a blip in time between coverage of Somali and Vitali, despite us having a lot of things going on in those cases. So I said, you know what? It's time for the Foodie Beauty. It's time for me to do this. And let me just say, this is entirely
Oh, you followed him during the death
new
trial. Okay.
to me. So as of like, let's say 72 hours ago, I didn't know much at all about this woman other than what had been described to me.
Her fake marriage, possibly, but like, why now? Like, why a month ago? Why, like, what happened before the cat? I'm just like, how could we remember? Like, there was like BC and like AC before cat and after cat. I know we have to be more specific because she's dealt with a lot of problematic issues with cats, but like, I think we know what we're talking about. Like, you know, I can't even remember anything that happened before Bruce Lee. Honest to God, like it's just like a fever dream.
In
Hey,
emails,
Clevermore.
etc. So I put a poll in the chat. Have you heard of Foodie Beauty? And 57% of you in the chat right now. We have almost 1,700 votes. 57% know more than I do because they say you know everything about her. So you know more than I do. 57% of the chat. But then in terms of her history and her background. Now I'm going to tell you what I have focused on, and that's different in a second. But
it could have been benefit. It could have been a number of things. But it could have been like running a stop sign. Like it could have been anything because she's done a lot of questionable things on a live stream. So to be fair,
14% of you say yes, vaguely, you know. So maybe you saw another video, maybe you saw another channel, and then 31% say no, not at all. So what I've kind of structured today is a basic background for those that don't know anything about her, and what people should know. Some of you are going to be new to my channel. Is I try.
Listen, Court, some people don't even know who she is. Like most people don't know who she is. Like I've never come across someone. I don't think so. I don't think I have. I'm trying to think of any interactions I've ever had with people in real life. I've never come across someone who knows anything about this space, or even Amber Lynn. I don't think.
To focus on the legal stuff. Now, there are points in which stuff that's non-legal that may be considered quote unquote drama is relevant to the legal side, but I am going to focus on the law today.
All right, so he's only here to talk about the law, right? That's what he's here for, which is where everyone kind of wants to know too.
I will say this. When I look at the length of Reddit threads or Kiwi Farms threads, she is up there in one of the longest detailed individuals on the internet, up there with Christian Western Chandler, Nicholas Rekieta, way up there in terms of information. So there's not a way possible that I can go through a 10K page a thread on a forum to get all the information, but I did try to get the information related to this last incident in Kuwait, and the one that can get her in legal trouble, the one that I think is the most chance to get her in legal trouble.
I'm looking at this man. He's obviously a very intelligent, well-spoken person. I'm looking at this through Foodie's eyes because you know she watched this, or she's going to watch this, right? I'm thinking of like, what is her comeback to this man? What is she going to say about this individual? You're not a fucking lawyer. Well, actually, I mean... kind of is. Like, what is she going to say? He's old. He's younger than she is. Like, what is she going to say about this man? He's ugly. He's fat. I don't know.
Because it's for her to clear, straightforward,
build, you know,
and it's per se. So this is the one that I think has the most legal relevance, the most legal teeth to it. However, I probably am going to have a different opinion than other people on the internet. So that's why it's Legal Mindset. That's why you guys are here. And it's good to see everybody in the chat. Now, I will say, guys, I do apologize. Some of you sent chats and stuff before I could pull them up. So I'm going to read some memberships real quick that came in before I was able to log them in my system, so I can't pull them up.
Skip some of these.
Hold on.
Other secret squirrel.
I'm going to grow. I was bound. I time for 5. I appreciate it. Remember,
I'm just going to skip some of these.
I'll give you. Yes. Diane Canadian says, keeping up with the DoorDashians, FAFO attention.
Or I just want to get to the sorry, I just want to get through all of this because there was a lot of chat.
There are some things which I feel some people think should be prosecuted, which I haven't seen enough evidence on.
Welcome back, Elaine.
To say, yeah, that's a key.
Welcome back, Elaine. I hope you're having a relaxing day at home. I know you've been driving all up and down the East Coast. Hey, goodbye, Kyle.
killer case. That's a really killer case. The reason why I'm going to focus on the kitten thing, and we're focusing on the kittens today because I like kittens,
Who doesn't?
is because I think that one is pretty damn clear. And I think
that's a good one. Secrets. He cannot judge her since he's not Muslim. Well, technically, neither is she. So, I really want him. I'm going to email him and I'm going to ask him a specific question. I want to know my interest in this is from a legal standpoint is like how she got into the country. I want to know about the visa. Like what happens if she is on a tourist visa? Like what are the repercussions then if she's married? Has she to sue the court? Like what does that mean? I want to know like what's the other option? Like if she is there on some kind of weird work visa or like a work permit, or like maybe she is there on some kind of weird loophole marriage visa, like, that's what I'm interested in. I don't know.
I think that we have the evidence we need to have. And from my standpoint of looking at it on the outside, once again, not a Kuwaiti lawyer, just somebody who understands how the law works in general, right? And has seen this happen in many countries around the world as someone who lives in Asia, as someone who deals.
And he does have some good news for us, those that think she's in Canada. Even though technically, I'm not going to get into it too. I want you guys to watch, but like, there's some good news
with immigration
here
law,
at the end.
See these things happen regularly and how they're dealt with. I think there are things here that are
Greenie, how are you?
But we'll get to that. Nick Ross says, can't wait to hear your take. She's a train wreck.
I'm just
he does have the legal trouble, but this mukbang lady is in for a short life with medical problems just like the rest of them. Yeah, and you know what? I'm not a doctor. My brother is.
This mukbang lady. if that were only the least of her problems. Just think, up until a few weeks ago, Chantal's biggest problem was her health, which is a huge problem, right? That can make or break you. But like now it's so much worse. It's just so much worse.
But I'm not a doctor. I agree. Yeah, I mean, that's just one thing that you could point out objectively, right? Cindy for 10 says, I will never forgive her for making fun of the death of children that were unalived in Uvalde, Texas. She played pumped up kicks and made the finger. What the?
See what I mean? Do you see like, I do enjoy when big channels cover this because it raises awareness of what this whole community has been trying to do for 8 or 9 years now. But pumped up kicks is such a fundamental part of the lore. It's like, we don't make fun of her because she's fat and she's eating on camera. It's because she's a horrible fucking person. That's why. And without that, it doesn't mean it's not as heavy. You know what I'm saying?
I did not know about that one. Bronwyn says, I've been following Megan's coverage of this woman and another named Amber Lynn Reed. It's insane with these stories. I'll have to look into Amber Lynn Reed. I have not heard of her.
See what I mean? He doesn't even know Amber Lynn, and which he shouldn't know who these people are, right? Like we shouldn't know them unless you stumble on them randomly. But like he doesn't even know Amber Lynn. So he doesn't even have like Amber Lynn was first. That whole concept, you know what I mean?
Thank you. Gary Lee from 199 says obese Western women being Karen in the Middle East. Well, and one thing I see about this, and I want to play some video. No, we're not
that's what I was saying in there.
Some video I think is very relevant. Is the perception or the honeymoon phase versus the reality. And I think a lot of people, and I see this here in Asia as well, I think a lot of people have a perception, and that perception after a little bit of time, whether it's a year, 2 years, 6 months, it gets shattered by something and they cannot reconcile with it.
And now here's the point where I'll let him finish his thought.
And it breaks them and they end up going back. And whether or not there's a legal consequence, although I do think there may be here. I think that her perception, the honeymoon phase of Kuwait, is 100% over.
See, here's where the lore would help. This is where having a bit of the backstory would help him, because he doesn't realize that she has been talking shit, as we well know on this channel, about Canada for literally the entire time she's been there. It's been really ramped up the past, recently, or the past few months. She's been like, fuck Canada. It's all full of drunk people and drug addicts and losers. Kuwait's so much better. Everything is better here, blah, 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 blah. You know what I mean? It wasn't just it was literally an overnight thing. It wasn't just like all of a sudden, like, it was because she did something bad and didn't want to face the consequences. That's how fickle. That's how she has no opinion. She has no fucking personality. She has no like hobbies, no likes, no dislikes. Like it's just like it just yeah.
And that's something I can speak to as a person who's seen expats here. I've now been abroad for living 6, almost 7 years abroad. You see it happen. You see something happens and it breaks the person that they just cannot reconcile with. This is the way the country does a thing.
I'm sorry, but you don't go from loving something and denouncing your home country to and loving Kuwait, and all of a sudden one day you hate it. You hate Kuwait. Fuck that. I'm going back to Canada. Canada bees for life. She hated Kuwait the entire time. She just kept talking it up because she knows it came across as it sucked and it wasn't as good as Canada. Sorry, it's not. Like, I'm sorry. Sue me. Canada's nicer. Whatever, you know?
And no matter how you feel about that,
hey,
particularly
Mama,
as a non-citizen, they don't care about how you feel.
He does kind of look like a young version of Uncle Joey on Full House, Dave Coulier. Yeah, yep. You know who Uncle Joey used to date? Alanis Morissette. Talking about Canadians. And her fucking jagged little pill was all about that guy, Uncle Joey. How fucking random is that? Crazy. Anyway, sorry.
About that. They don't give a shit about how you feel about that. That's the rule, the law, the culture. That's the way it is. And it's not going to change. And that really does break people. Santa Cooks for 5 says, you have lots of reputable reaction channels in here to answer it. Just ask. Thank you very much. Thank you guys. And Bergie 4, looking forward to this. And I want to say that also, guys, thank you so much for being here. I do try, because my chat moves too fast. I do apologize. I know a lot of you are new to my channel. I read the super chats and I'll try to get stuff. If my my mod pings me in the background, I'll try to grab something. But thank you for being here, and I appreciate all the channels that are here. One thing I've discovered is there's a lot of great reaction channels, a lot of great channels.
Zincat, thank you so much for the super chat. Zincat says, I'm new here to remind you of the mess you left. Oh, I don't want to sing that because I can't sing like an Alanis Morissette, but thank you for the super chat. If anybody wants to sing that song right now out loud, please feel free. Thank you for the support, honey.
That cover Girl World and that cover Foodie Beauty. So thank you for that. And I think you guys do a really good job.
Thank you.
One of the channels I'm going to use today put together a kind of a clip compilation. Now it's a little bit on the meme side because it's got, some fart noise, reactions and stuff like there. But I think it's good to show her pre-Kuwait versus post-Kuwait.
I'm so glad that he chose to show a barbecue chillin', video. I was hoping it would be pulpy, but
despite those, if you can get over laughing about those and listen to the tonal change between early Kuwait versus afterwards, honeymoon phase versus what's going on right now. I think that's very pertinent. But you gotta get past the fart noises,
Without you guys, there would be no reaction channels. There would be no clip shows. Nobody would be doing this shit. If nobody watched, nobody would be doing it. You know what I mean? So take your own flowers. You guys are an awesome community all the way around, honestly.
Look, we all love a good fart noise, okay? We all love a good fart noise, but you look past the fart noise. Retro reacts like Chantal is Jabba's cousin, Pizza the Hut. I never liked Pizza Hut. Taco Bell. Buddhist is a doctor and a lawyer. Your parents supposed to be proud. Yeah, don't work anymore. I would assume so if she's an observant Muslim.
See what I mean? Like right there. If she's an observant Muslim, honey. No. She's not. Oh, was it barbecue? Yeah, it was Marley. Sorry, not barbecue chicken. Sorry, Marley Hendricks. My bad. Sorry. I always get them, always mix up their channels. She's not an observant Muslim. I think we could Thank you, Jeff. Thank you. You know why ours is the best? Because it's all the same people. All my people go in Scar's chat and all her people come in my chat. So it's all the same people. So it's a good chat.
Setsubu says she falsified an alibi for a man she accused of SA. So this is once again.
That's what I sent. I sent him the super chat. Same thing with that. Same exact thing. Champ. That's not me.
I don't have the information on this. And I can't say with the information that I've studied so far whether that's true or not true. Now, I will say this. if I receive ample evidence or other stuff, or you guys are able to send me backup receipts, stuff like that, send it to me.
See what I mean? Without the clip channels, without the reaction channels. If Chantal had it her way, nobody would know, right? Nobody would know all the bullshit that she has done because it's all gone, right? It's all off YouTube, but not forever. You know what I mean?
And make sure that I have it and can review it. And there's proof of stuff. I will follow up and cover other things.
I'll email him.
But today I focus specifically on the Kuwait stuff, especially the kitten stuff.
Sarah, that's a great question. You should ask if he does a follow-up, Sarah. You should definitely ask him that in the chat. If the oil fields, is a big deal.
Doxy says, Amber has taken her partner's inheritance of $6,000 and made them do caregiving tasks and in live streams, leaving them with only $1,000. Ooh,
hey, Pink Warrior, how are you?
That's just, that's
I
fucked up.
asked for you. Yeah, absolutely. Listen, I would love to fucking talk to this guy. I want nothing more than to talk to this man. I think we could have a good conversation, but I mean, he's not going to answer. Like, he's going to listen. If any of the reaction channels reach out to this man, guess who he's going to talk to? FFG and Yaba. Like Keem said, like, they don't want to talk to the little channels. They want to talk to the bigger channels, which is fair,
Illegal.
He's going to do a follow-up. I hope he does.
But it depends on the circumstance.
I hope he does.
But definitely morally messed up.
Yes.
I gotta put a little bit of money in the swear jar there. Someone did make me a swear jar emoji. I have not had a chance to upload the swear jar emoji. I am really trying to reduce my swearing. Also, enemy of the girls everywhere again too. Thank you. Okay, let's start out here. Of course, guys, as you know, I have.
Oh, let me just read this. Fireworld says, I think there's a misunderstanding. Legal Mindset is a U.S. trained lawyer. Doubt he has that deep a knowledge in other countries. Even for Korea, he calls in locals to help. Oh, yeah, for sure. Like, he even mentions this later on in the video that he spoke to someone in the embassy. And that's where he got a lot of his information, like, straight from the horse's mouth. So, yeah, for sure. Like, he doesn't know all about Kuwait, but he does know about U.S. laws. And listen, he's a lawyer, right? Like, I trust his word more than just like Johnny off the street, to be fair. But again, take of this what you will.
The PP, and that is a PowerPoint. This is kind of the highlight of my channel if you're new to the channel.
I hope he does do a follow-up.
And I love to make PowerPoints, and I love the fact
PowerPoint.
I
love a PowerPoint.
Get to put a new flag in the corner because I'll use a Korean flag for Somali. We got a Philippines flag for Vitaly, and now we got a Kuwaiti flag. So it's kind of cool. I get to get a new one here. And also hello to everybody who's on locals as well. What's up? JP Ravenfire, Repton. Good to see you guys over there on locals. Okay. So we got Foodie Beauty. Let's give a little background. And once again, 50% of you already know this. 50%.
Oh my God. I was watching this on my phone, so I didn't read this. I was just listening to this part. Look what that set. Girls, it's getting a little shady in here. Background: Chantal Olive Marie Siro, Chantal El Rafai, however the fuck she says it, aka Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, Chantal Marie, Chinny, and Klotzo. Do you know where Klotzo comes from? It's the Kiwi Farms. There's a certain couple people on Kiwi Farms. If you know, you know. They call her Klotzo. My fucking God. Yeah, they call her Klotzo. Like one person in particular on the Chantal thread on Kiwi Farms calls her Klotzo. At least he used to, or they used to. Sorry, I don't know if it's a he or she, but yeah, I just wanted to share that with you guys. The shade.
You already know Foodie Beauty is Chantal Olive Marie Seralt. Chantal Al-Rafay, I believe. And once again, I may butcher these pronunciations, so get me if I'm wrong. She is aka Foodie Beauty, Big Beautiful Me, Chantal Marie, Chini, Klotzo. There are a lot of other nicknames for this girl, but I'm just
he did say he read some stuff on the farm, so that makes sense. But it's funny because that is so nuanced. Is he friends with the person that wrote that? Probably. Who knows? No, I'm just kidding.
Call her Foodie Beauty or Foodie. For this one.
Big Beautiful Me.
She's born in Canada, March 28, 1984. She looks way older than her age. I will say that. She's older than me. That's one.
Yeah.
She created her YouTube.
Mila, your birthday's in 3 days. Happy birthday, early birthday. I hope you're here. If you're here when we're live, remind me. But I hope you have a great birthday, honey. Have lots of fun. Eat whatever you want to eat and just have a fantastic day. Enjoy you.
In 2014, apparently at first it was a beauty channel, but moved on to be mukbang type content.
I love
Also,
a PowerPoint.
She's obviously had a bit of a transformation here.
Listen, I used to make recorded videos about Chantal, and some of them were on a PowerPoint. Okay, so I went into like a psychoanalysis of Chantal. If you're ever interested in that, it's on my channel. I used fucking power. Fuck yes, I did. I love it.
Well, this to this, kind of a from what I hear, a revert,
Thank you,
convert, revert, over here, and converting to Islam.
Look at these two. Look at his stupid, dopey. Look at his moronic face. Look at that dumb, mopey face. Oh God. Hey Coco, how are you, sweetheart?
Now, this is where I'm gonna make.
You mentioned toward the end that I reached out to him via email. I didn't even hear that. Oh my God, I'm excited. Okay, cool. He got my email? Shit, already? No. He couldn't have got.
Make the comments, and there is a lot.
That fuck
and I went on. Trust me, I trolled the phone.
Legend.
I read what you
legal
guys said.
mind.
I went back more than 5 pages, guys.
Yeah.
There are a lot of accusations against her, and I do not have time on this stream, or really any one stream, to go through everything that has been leveled against her legally and say whether it's true or untrue, or whether I think there's enough evidence.
I sent that to him while he was live. How did he read that? That's rando. Well, that's cool.
Support that, or to file something, or whether there's lack of evidence or something like that. And by the way, these are all in Canada. Once again, I'm not a Canadian lawyer. I'm an American lawyer. But I go in the presumptions of, okay, well, generally you want a good...
Sarah, Mr. Yorkshire is what Coco Pops calls my husband, because he's from North Yorkshire, England.
Good amount of evidence here. Does this look okay or not? Generally, right? In my general opinion, not specific legal opinion. But that said, there are a lot of things that are leveled against him, and I am aware of many of those accusations. Many of them don't look good. There's a lot of stuff that deals with...
I want to hear more about what Salah is going to get into, because Chantal fled, right? Better or worse, she's probably in Canada by now. Like, I think we could all, if she's in Kuwait, it's probably a slim chance, but she's probably in Canada. She's probably out of Kuwait. I want to know what happened to Salah. That's a good question, Dotson. But you know what? It doesn't matter about the Islamic law for her, because let's face it, she never practiced Islam. That's not going to affect her, I don't think. Honestly, my opinion anyway. It's going to affect him for sure. Like, for sure.
With dishonesty, there's a lot of stuff deals with potential substances. There's a lot of behavioral issues which aren't necessarily legal. So there's a lot of that stuff in her background. So I am aware of this other stuff. We're not going to do it all today. So just understand that, because I know a lot of people.
There's no way he could do it all today. He would need literally years and months and years to fucking catch up, may want to do like count. Like, here's all of her background or history, like do a Chris Chan length documentary. We do not have time for that. It's a lot. It is a lot. And understand there are a lot of great channels, many of which I think are in the chat today, to get that information and to go back and do a deep dive on all the things she's done from an interpersonal level, right? And I understand there's a lot of things that people find objectionable about her behavior, the way she talks about other people, misleading statements, all that sort of stuff. But understand that very vile, disgusting behavior, in fact, really like odious, nasty behavior, is not always. I mean, here's a question. Someone asked about, a lot of people were asking about Julia today, and someone just mentioned it in my chat. Like, is there, like, I know one of, like, that smear job on Twitter. I don't know who she is on YouTube, and I apologize for that. I'm just really terrible with names. Is there a way you could send, like, you could do like a welfare check on someone, like, hey, this person's not answering their phone, I'm worried, can we send someone just to make sure they're okay? Does that exist in Kuwait for like animals? I'm just thinking out loud. I'm just curious. I'm not saying people go do it. I'm just saying, like, does that exist? I wonder if that exists, just to check on Julia's welfare. You know,
illegal. It's not necessarily illegal, particularly in the United States and Canada. It is not illegal to be an asshole, a jerk,
That's
a
true.
liar. Provided, asterisk, you're not lying to the government, right? You're not lying to law enforcement, and you're not lying in any way that would constitute a crime.
Right.
And what we have today is a case where she crossed the line with those behaviors. And I think
No, Julia's not microchipped, I don't think. No, she's not, right? She's not. Julia's not. Pause. Kuwait was going to go check on her, maybe? Okay.
we are very used to, in the West, getting away with a lot of behaviors. And there's a lot of behaviors we can get away with that we just normalize. And that we say, oh yeah, you know, content creators lie about X, Y, Z all the time.
Yep.
And they get away with it.
Yep.
They get away with it all the time. And when you move countries, and I can say this as a content creator myself, it's very funny. You now have to abide by different laws. So content creators in Kuwait, or here I'm in Thailand, or Japan, Philippines, China, all have to move differently because we're all under the thumb of different governments. And there are certain things in different governments that you just can't mess with.
Right. You have to follow the laws of the country you're, especially if you live there. Like, I don't expect someone to like read the entire Constitution coming to the United States for like a five-day trip. But if you're going to like make your home and marry someone in a foreign country and work there and do things in such a public, you're a public figure if you're on YouTube, right? You better learn the laws. And that's it. There's no excuse. You can't feign ignorance for everything, especially when it can be proven that you're not that stupid. Like, you should know better.
And you have to learn these things if you're going to continue to do content creation in that country. That is your responsibility. And I believe fully in the personal responsibility of
Really, Zincat? Oh my God, for chewing gum? That's crazy. Yikes.
every content creator to learn the laws in the country where they are.
Oh yeah, radioactive court. Yeah, she was born and raised in Canada. She's definitely a citizen of Canada. The visa run is because she's on a tourist visa in Kuwait, and every 90 days you have to leave the country. You can't just stay there, otherwise you're overstaying the visa and you can get deported. So she had to leave the country at least every 90 days. How often she has done that is probably now coming into question, now that like the Kuwait authorities are looking at her passport and when her movement in and out of the country. Like, it's crazy, man. She's really in the shit.
It's not an excuse of I didn't know,
Right.
or whatever else.
Right.
You've got to learn those, particularly if you're going to go do something. You've got to learn the laws of the country.
Sorry, I hear
So you can't just say, well, I didn't know. That's not an excuse in my book. Polina said, welcome to Girl World. Thank you, Polina. Nick Ross.
Buckle up, fuckers.
Thank
You're in Girl World now.
He says, hijab about no.
She is in danger.
You guys are killing me today.
I'm just going to end this poll here so I can get it off the screen for you guys. So the poll was, is Foodie watching the tea today? 83% say yes, 2% say no, and 15% or 16% say she's here right now. Hi, Foodie. If you're here, how's it going? You're going to be really hungry next month. Thank you guys for voting. I appreciate it. You're going to be really hungry next month, Chantal, when your paycheck is like $3. That's going to suck because you still have to make that, what is it, $1,700 payment per month that you're making for whatever mystery bill that you showed us that looked like you made it on like Salah made it on an Excel branch. Hey, Duping. Hey, Rosie. Hey, Font.
I feel like I'm going to die.
No. Wait.
Hi, Sarah Lee.
Fake Buddhist for five says morally legal doesn't always mean criminally legal, but each have their own consequences. Yes, exactly. And I think she, people say she's getting away, but you have to understand suffering the consequence of the ire of the internet is not exactly getting away. I don't think a lot of people in the chat, particularly people that are running reaction channels, are letting her get away with it.
Yeah, but that's the thing. The reaction channels and the whole community, they have never let her get away with anything, but she is a fucking cockroach because there's like a handful of people who stick up for her, who have really the loud vocal minority in this community and her beezers, right? Let's be fair. They're her supporters, whether or not they're trolling or not. Like, they are there supporting her through pumped up kicks. Like, she finds an audience after that. Through Cuba Rage, she found an audience after that. Through all the shit she has done, there are still morons who are willing to give her money and views. And he'll talk about that in a little bit.
I think they're kind of, in their minds, exposing that behavior. So I think, in a way, she's getting a consequence. It's public backlash.
Funny you said that. I tried to draw Foodie as a bowling ball 2 nights ago, and man, did it look... I will never show the public. It was bad.
Right? Now,
it's
the legal
hard.
backlash, that's a different thing. We'll talk about that. Blondie gifted 20 Legal Mindset memberships. Thank you so much for that. Very based. Thank you. Let's see here. Rose Gold Cinnamon. So somebody said in the chat she's hiding, LMFO, to follow up Gary Lee with fat Western women hiding in the Middle East. She'll be bedridden soon.
It's Jerry,
I'm
not Gary.
Sure whether she's quote unquote.
Damn it, it's not Gary. It's Jerry. We know how to spell Gary in this community, don't we?
Hiding, or just maybe not streaming as much, or like laying quote unquote low. A lot of content creators do that when they're facing heat. And to be honest, it's a smart thing to do. If you're under fire, the last thing you want to do, particularly if you have a legal investigation or a criminal investigation, is make a statement that's going to dig yourself deeper.
She already did. It's too late for that. She already did.
So generally, that's something I do see people doing. The Dawnbringer says, Mr. Snowflake has made a wonderful documentary. I will check that out. Let me top it up, Mr. Snowflake. Okay, I will put that in my watch list. I have not seen that one. Madonna Nels says, please give me your thoughts on her consequences if she fled to Canada. Well, we'll talk about. Okay, so put a pin in this, Madonna. So I'm going to talk about this when we get to like what I think could happen. But I will answer this question.
Panda talks too much. maybe she's staying with Dee Dee and Nodder. Every time I think about like, where in the world is Foodie San Diego? I just think of like her hiding in the world's biggest green garbage bin, right? And just in a green garbage can in like Nodder and Dee Dee's driveway, just eating the garbage like a raccoon, like the dirty little raccoon that she is, spying on them and not being able to lie. That's how I feel. That's what I picture in my head. Like, Foodie's having a bad fucking time right now.
Like consequences if she flees to Canada.
She's with Teardrop and her husband.
Lewis Kelly said she did converted just to hide her headline. Bibby said, do you need to use a curtain for her job? King Luigi for 6 says, so she gonna get emotional cabbage? Yeah. Bronwyn gifted 20. Thank you so much. King Luigi gifted 1. Leon Hines for 20 says,
he's living on the balcony. He jumped off of to avoid her. Just live in an elevator, dude. She won't go in there unless there's stairs.
Friday was payday. Get yourself something tasty, my man. I will. I gotta get some soju after this or something.
She doesn't. That's the thing, Kiki. She does not care about her beezers. She doesn't care about her community. She's just constantly selfish, and that's what like these people that give her money and support. They don't understand. They just don't. They don't see her. They don't care. It's one of the two. She's fighting Teardrop's husband for the leftovers.
A stiff drink after this one. And Kitty Cat, so we're just happy that this live is pissing her off. That's great. Okay. So first of all, let's talk about the Kuwaiti legal system, because I don't know if you guys knew this today, but you're going to get educated.
That's true.
Because I always sneak in education with my entertainment.
Hey, we like education here.
I always sneak in education with my entertainment. So the Kuwaiti legal system, let's talk about that.
Just dripping.
It is a mixed legal system. So it is blending different legal traditions, which makes it kind of a cluster.
That's interesting. The French civil law system, which I don't know shit about French courts whatsoever. Like, no idea. English common law system and Egyptian civil law. Somebody made a whoopsie. I'm just kidding. Sharia law, family law for Muslim residents. Okay.
So it is really
Hey, Joanna, how are you?
From my
sweetheart?
standpoint of looking
you.
at this and doing real research, it's kind of a fucking mess. It blends French civil law and English common law, which are two systems which are a whole
treaties in France. Hey. I've always wanted to go to France.
mess. If you want to look at how much of a mess they are, look at the state of Louisiana. I love you, Louisiana. Louisiana has the longest bar exam in the United States, period. They have the longest well exam because you have both systems you have to go through. It's a fucking mess.
That's interesting. I didn't know that. So Louisiana has both local legal systems they have to go. That's weird.
And that's just two. Oh, wait. We're going to throw in Egyptian law and Sharia law. Now, Sharia is only for the family. I know people like panic when they say Sharia or Islamic law. It's only for family law and only for Muslims. So we're going to ignore the Sharia part because that's not really relevant, but it's really the French law, English, and Egyptian that blend to form their law. And what this results in is they get a lot of interplay. There's a lot of legal interplay between regulatory bodies and the judiciary. So what this means,
I just scrolled up to see what you said, Sky. I can't get that 30 seconds back.
Means is interpretations change rapidly, and this is going to play in with Foodie Beauty because there was a recent interpretation and a change that could completely screw her over.
Oh,
and we're going to talk about that today.
That's what we talked about already, I think.
Like 180 shift.
Yeah,
and it's really bad for her. It's not good legally. So what this means is
odd when I feel you. Like a lot of people are like, oh my God, my worlds are colliding. It's really weird when that happens, but it's also kind of fun, right?
If you're doing business, and by the way, they do have one of the most secular, which means kind of westernized commercial law in the Gulf region. So it is a place where a lot of people do business because their law is relatively secular, which is.
I mean, I was going to do Pulpy's pin of shame on that comment for Sky, but I don't want to get in trouble.
Good for Western business. But that said, one thing that I did when I was in House Counsel was I worked in the regulatory division, and one thing you got to know is you've got to be able to be on top of changes in the law that are put out, whether they're in the court system or put out by these regulatory bodies. A regulatory body is something like we have in the US, like imagine the FDA or whatever, right? And when they put out a new recommendation or a guideline, imagine if you had to follow that immediately, that could come out with a quicker time frame, and that could completely change everything and make things illegal. That's what we're dealing with in Kuwait. We're dealing with a timeline that's really expedited, where the laws can change, and you have to be very careful about those changes. So,
yep. Again, just be aware of the laws in the country, especially that you're residing in. Like, just be aware. This is not difficult. Everyone knows this. It's just common sense. Even Salah wasn't keeping up with the laws. Yeah, because they just think they think they're above the law, and they're not.
Pull this down. Let me make sure this next slide is what I want it to be. Okay.
My God,
so let's get to Foodie Beauty going to Kuwait. Okay. So I'm going to play this video. This is a video by, who's this by? Marley Hendricks.
Ooh, Marley
has 8,000 subscribers. I'm going to give her a subscribe.
I hope her subscribers go through the roof. Guys, if you're not subscribed to Marley Hendricks, please check out her channel. She's been around for a long time. I didn't realize she only had 8,000 subs. Guys, come on. We can do better. Go to your reaction channels that you watch. Make sure you're subscribed to Marley Hendricks. Make sure you're subscribed to everyone that you watch. They work hard. Marley Hendricks. Listen, clipping Chantal is fucking misery. Okay? Editing a Chantal video is misery. So
now she has 8,000.
Subscribe to, especially Marley
8,631 subscribers.
I hope she
but she did a great compilation here, kind of showing like her attitude on Kuwait before and after she kind of got there. So I want to show this. This part is just very relevant for like when she lands versus.
Do we think Salah will get deported? That's a great question, Pussycat. I don't know. What do you guys think? I'll put this in the chat. I'll put a poll up here. Hold on 1 second. Somebody wants a poll, so we're gonna give them a poll. Ah, I wish they'd give you more like space to write. There we go. Choose from the following.
Is what's happening now.
You think he's going
And
to?
I think she does a fantastic job with that. So I'm going to play this clip, and this will give you kind of a, she came to Kuwait and kind of here's how it went down. So shout out once again to Marley. Good job on the compilation of the videos I looked at. This is the one I chose. So shout out.
Bridge, which is 48.5 kilometers long,
Scar,
right in the middle of the ocean.
cutie.
So she's talking about landing here and the really cool things. And once again, Marley says it in the video. This is what you call the honeymoon phase. When you go to any new country, and I know this, I've been to over 100 countries. When you go to any country, all you see in the beginning is the really nice stuff. You're blinded by the cool stuff and how it's different and unique and special.
Honey, that's what I mean. Like this man has no idea. Listen, Chantal does not give a shit about the architecture of Kuwait, about the beauty of Kuwait, about the beaches. She has not stepped her big pinky toe in the water. Like, she does not give a shit. The only thing she cares about is air conditioning, a room, and food, and the internet. Like, that's it. Hey, Trash, how are you, sweetheart? Nice to see you. Are you excited for your big day soon? Yay. Like, she doesn't, the he doesn't know. That's what I mean. Like, he doesn't know. She doesn't, you know what I mean?
And how it's so
She
much
went there
better
for
than your
mail
home
and
country.
food. Yeah.
That is a normal thing that happens in the beginning when people first go to a country, right? Unless they completely hate it from the jump, in which some people do. If you're a type of person who just wants to live in your home country your entire life, you go somewhere else, you hate it because it's not home. But if you're someone who's like looking for living somewhere else, you tend to just go in this honeymoon phase right away. It's very typical. I see it with expats all the time. And she hits what I would call.
Make sure you post stuff on your Instagram because I want to see it. I want to see photos. I can't wait to see your pictures. You're going to look so beautiful. Vegas, baby.
All the wall. And it happens between 1 and 3 years. But you'll see this.
Both connect us to the north side of Kuwait, and it will take about an hour and a half.
Just for a second here. I just want to just appreciate this still shot of this picture. Because we never get to see it. Coochie coochie coo. Coochie coochie coo. You miss her? I just, God, this picture. Oh, God, just the ham pants wrap.
And a half to traverse. Beautiful, calming scenery. Let's go. Also, here's the surprise you've been waiting for.
Hello guys, how are you?
Okay, so I'm gonna fast forward past the pigeon voice here, but let's go here. Okay, let's watch.
Not too far off.
Talking more about
to be fair, it does sound just like him.
I can't hear you speaking very well.
Oh, well, that's
You can't wait for her big return.
Wow. Seriously, the silence. If anything to come out here for, the silence, the beautiful nature.
Oh, Mish Pond, thank you so much for the super chat. Mish Pond said, I had enough of Foodie Beauty antics, and on February this year, I messaged LM and Insta. I also went around chats mentioning LM to ask him to cover Foodie Beauty. I'm sure I'm not the only one. Please help LM to cover all Canada crimes she's done. I reached out to him, Mish. That's all I can do. Like, if he wants to respond, that's totally like, thank you for the support. Thank you for the super chat. That's all I can do. Like, if he wants to talk to me, like I said, I've been watching this for a long time. Right. I'm not so deeply marred in this that I'm like super controversial. So I don't know. Maybe he wanted to talk to me, maybe not, but I'll talk to him. I'll have him on my panel. I'll go on his panel. I don't give a shit. I'll just talk to him in DMs, like whatever he wants, whatever he needs. We can find it for him. If he needs to see certain streams, we can find it in the community. This community is amazing. So yeah, thank you for the super chat. Yeah, and give him some time. Like, he's new to this. This is a lot. This is a lot to jump into,
Oh my gosh.
So that's her partner there. So I don't doubt that she was genuinely happy about this at the moment, but it's just funny how quickly things can change. Of course, she's also happy about the food, right?
Yes, that is true. The only
What do you
YouTube
mean?
I bombard is pulpy.
You know, McDonald's and Burger King are always different in different countries, you know.
Mm-hmm. They're very hot, fresh, and they're like seasoned curly fries. They're so good.
That's true.
Let me try the burger.
Appreciation night.
Okay, so we're not going to
Anything
do the
to
full
spin it.
mukbang stream here, but what I want to point out, let me go forward, is what happens now, right? So here's her before, just loving Kuwait, loving it. It's the best place ever. She gets Middle Eastern Burger King. Middle Eastern Burger King is awesome. And then what happens now?
That's just honestly how I feel. And I blame the internet for that. And I blame myself for
It's the internet's fault. Everything is the internet's fault. It's someone else's fault.
exposing myself to the internet. But then I come on here and I talk to you lovely people, and it gives me a bit of
Quick note here. I do not feel sorry for content creators for having to deal with the internet. People always like the attention that the internet gives, but they don't like the spotlight it puts on themselves. So you must, as a content creator, accept the benefit and the burden. That's my personal opinion.
True. But however, just because you have a YouTube channel doesn't mean people can just like, you know, you're not just like a punching bag. There has to be boundaries too, to be fair.
That it's not a legal opinion, but it's my personal opinion that if you choose to be a content creator, there are both boons and there are burdens, and you must accept both. You must accept both.
But if you act like a fool on the internet, that's a whole different fucking ball game. You know what I mean?
Including the spotlight that puts in your life.
of hope. Did the law come? No. I don't know how to explain how I feel. I just feel grossed out. That's all. And just down.
Hey, Specs, how are you, sweetheart? Hope you're having a good day. Lovely to see you as always.
One of those moods, you know. I know it'll pass, but I'm not ungrateful for my life. It has nothing
Exactly,
to do with
trash. Yep.
I don't know.
And Trash is not. Listen, I don't know if you guys. Trash used to upload a lot of foodie beauty content. She hasn't in a little while because she's kind of busy with real life, but she was getting shit too. She knows what it's like. Shit. She didn't do. She is like the least problematic fucking person. She got doxxed. It's like bullshit. Yeah.
I hate when I'm in a bad mood and my husband tries to talk to me. I know I try not to like take it out on people around me, like, and be, you know, crabby. So what I do is I just leave me be. I just need some time because I don't want to be crabby, you know. So Lord does his best to cheer me up. I'm grateful for him, but thank you, Nicole. Sorry for my pimple.
Just get doxxed.
When I'm nervous, like, I don't know. I just feel off right now. Maybe take a couple of days off. Yeah. I don't know. We'll see. Probably a good idea.
A couple of days turn into a couple of weeks, turn into 3 weeks almost now.
But like then I let people win, you know, like. Yeah, no, I'm getting in shit. I bet you I'm gonna get in crap for trying to be nice and help them. If it weren't for me, they even use my pictures.
I guarantee. Listen, don't forget when your mama. Listen. Think of the similarities. If you watch Yo Mama, I apologize, but listen, the guy's kind of a clown. All that shit about him kicking his neighbor's cat and then it died recently after that, and him was laughing about it, making a joke about it. What happened? He disappeared for a few weeks. He privated his channel, but he disappeared. Chantal tried to steal a cat. He warned her, don't take the cat. Don't mess with cats with this community. She didn't listen. And now she's been gone for a couple of weeks. Do you see what I'm saying? Like, and he came back after a couple of weeks, and now, you know.
On their page.
Hey, Mariana.
They even use my pictures on their page.
This is by the way, this is what we on our channel call
Waiting
coping
for
and
pips, I
seething.
agree.
It is perhaps the outro. So just call coping and seething. It is perhaps the outro.
Amber
so
lost.
Just understand this is very much within the coping and seething bracket.
Yes, they're harassing everybody. They're not suing me because I'm not paying a dime.
Nobody's suing you. Might get some fines, but nobody's suing you, honey.
Like, I need to get out of this country, man. Like,
all of her beezers migrated over to Yo Mama's channel. Oh, of course. Yeah. Of course, yeah. Because that's where they feel comfortable. Yeah.
Insane. Which country villainizes people for trying to help? Like, what?
The elevator area was chaotic. People were waiting a long time to get in an elevator and they were jam-packed. This is one instance where I appreciate the gender segregation, and the women had their own elevators and like a lift attendant. So that was awesome.
Like, Yeah, they use my pictures that I sent them, and it's
crazy trash. Like worried about someone stealing your pet outside. That's fucking crazy. I get it, man.
actually. And then go check out the post. It's like, I'm gonna go get it. I'm not getting off. Don't tell me to get off.
No, Elaine, I could see you, honey.
Just a second. Okay, here we go.
How is it illegal, like, for me to take the cat and people said they would help?
Okay, so here's the part where we get to. So this is the part where I was building up to. Thank you for it finally gets here. Jesus, she rambles a lot. So the kitten, the cat. So she goes and she sees a cat on the street.
The Ouija part.
She picks it up and separates it from its mother and takes that cat. So we got the video here. And once again, as the very well edited video here says, everyone tried to warn her. Chat tried to warn her.
With money to bring him to the vet. We'll find out.
People say don't do that.
People say don't do that. So when I have any of my chat that says don't do that, I stop for a second and I'd be like, okay, well, why? And I just ask, okay, is it a good reason why or a bad reason why? Are you telling me if people are saying this is illegal, maybe I should check the law?
But that would make sense, right? You would think common sense, yes. But do these two idiots ever do that? Absolutely not, sir.
You better not. It's a what? Huge mistake.
You better not. It's a big mistake. People are saying don't do that. I think that's where you do check.
Right, because I
Yeah.
Hey, Shax.
Oh boy.
Nice to see you, honey.
This is exciting.
Odd one. I know. She was herpling. She got that cat and her little legs, her little tree trunk legs are real fast.
Putting on the cage.
Salah, please stop her.
Cage, don't listen. Just he's very.
So yeah, there's a Salah, please stop her. So people saying, hey, you got to step up and stop her, because technically, towards this, I mean, could be accomplice to that if you're doing something you shouldn't be doing, right? That's what, the cat getaway driver.
Exactly, Tweet T. Exactly. And as soon as he said there's a kitten by the bathroom, her eyes lit up. And I guarantee you, if she thought that cat was ugly, she wouldn't have taken it. She thought the kitten was cute, so she stole it. And that is what it is. And it was all on tape. So it's fucking wild. I didn't mean to hit that again.
It's okay for that organization to ask for donations. Like what?
So she walks in 1999.
Shut up, Selena. I'm not mad they got rescued. Like I just need to get out of here. I can't.
And once again, yeah, you can there's plenty of organizations that do these things. So, if you really feel like, okay, this is necessary, there's people you can get to do these things. But I'll let her speak for a bit.
Yeah, someone probably sent messages saying I'm a scammer. Exactly. Yep. I use my platform to help. Good luck. Send the law after me. I'm getting out of here. Honestly, I'm not staying here.
There we go. There's the flip.
Canada bees for life. That's it.
Yeah.
Because I'm not staying.
Canada for life. So all of that stuff, it's so awesome. It's quiet. Look at it's got a cool bridge. They got cool Burger King. And then nope, Canada, I'm out. It's done. And it's easy to see that flip. That's the flip I'm talking about. That's what I've seen so many times where people are just like, yep, no, I'm done.
Somewhere where I get in legal trouble for helping a kitten from dying. Like, no way. Nope.
There are multiple countries where you cannot interfere with the wildlife, even if it's dying. And there's a lot of reasons for that. Some can be cultural, some can be religious, some can be environmental. For example, by humans interfering in the environment or stepping into the environment, we are messing with the natural flow of nature, right? If you intercept, let's say, if you kill a wolf that was going to eat a deer, right? You mess with the whole ecosystem, and that can have wild consequences, right? Okay. So I mean, there's reasons why, plenty of reasons why a government might say, hey, you can't do X, Y, or Z, right? Or you shouldn't be the one to do X, Y, or Z.
They're not suing anybody. It's ridiculous.
Nobody's suing
anybody. So if messaging me right now, your best thing is to stop messaging me because you're getting me mad too. I'm tired of holding in how I feel. I'm tired of being silenced. I need to leave here so I can speak my mind, okay? I need to get the hell out of here. Investigating, exactly. Bye. Don't talk to me, Salah. Thank you. It's done. I'm leaving. I'm done.
Sorry. I wonder how they left it off. Let me end the poll. Let me see what you guys think of this one. Hold on. All right. So this one, what do you guys say? Will Salah be deported? 46% say yes. Freaking wig. And 32% say no. And 22% say he'd go to jail. Thank you guys for voting in that. I appreciate you guys.
Sorry, I can't silence myself. Like, I'm done. I'm done with this whole situation. Like, you don't know what it's like holding things in.
There's a comment she makes here.
Get in trouble with the law for helping a cat.
Hey, Jane.
Or asking for donations for help. Yeah. I'm out.
I'm out.
I'm out. If I can't have the freedom to say what I need to say here,
If I can't have the freedom to just like say what I want and do what I want and never get in trouble for anything that ever happens, and whenever I ever do, like, I'm out. I'm out. Okay, I just can't. I can't.
I'm out.
Okay, let me say that one. Let me put that back. This is a very good comment. This is a very good comment.
I'm out. Yeah. I'm out. I'm out.
Right, if I can't beg for money, I'm out.
If I can have the freedom to say what I need to say here, I'm out.
That one made me laugh. That last one right there. If I can't have the freedom to say what I need to say.
Damn, this is Kuwait.
She should have done a little research on the countries where she's going about freedom to say what she needs to say. Because outside of Canada, the United States, parts of Western Europe, you cannot say everything you want to say.
That's right.
There are definitely things in the majority of them.
You don't have free speech over there. It's not the same thing. It sucks, but that's how it is. That's why a lot of people want to come. You ever heard of the American dream? They want to come here.
The countries in the world. The majority, let me say that real quick. The majority of the countries in the world, you cannot just say anything you want to say. Yep. You feel like saying. That is the default on the planet Earth. It is a very rare minority of places where you can say what you want to say. And to be fair, and people are pointing this out, there's certain things in the West you can't say. We're not going in. I'm not going to get political. We're not doing all that today, guys. But even in the very few places where you can say a lot, you can say almost anything. Let's put it that way. You can say almost anything, right? Those are the minority. And Kuwait is, and this is no dig on Kuwait. Once again, there's plenty of awesome countries that have really restrictive laws regarding speech, right? But they're awesome and they might have really cool nature. They might be really fun places to live, but they're not places to go if you are somebody who wants to say whatever you feel without regard to the culture. And
it's true.
That is not the country I would pick.
Right.
If I was wanting to say what I ever wanted to say and do
right.
what I ever wanted to do.
Dress like right.
Anything. It's just not the one.
Dress like a Muslim in a Muslim country, saying all this out of pocket shit. Like, it's not a good place to do that. Do it in Canada. If you want to be a mouthy bitch online, do it in Canada. Do it in America. Fuck, do it in England, I guess. I don't know. Like, don't do it in the Middle East. It's just not a good idea, especially if you're like a foreigner in a foreign land.
I would pick. And I help people relocate.
I mean, you can't say whatever you want.
That is definitely not a place I would say, you know what, the place for you to go, Kuwait. That's your dream country. Is Kuwait.
I saw that, Linda. Yeah.
Yeah, not the place. Not even the place in the Middle East, by the way. There are other countries that are better for that, but that's neither here nor there. Okay, so let's go back to our PP, because of course we got to get that. And actually, before we do the PP, let's get some chats, because we're 21 back. Jesus, you guys, Girl World is stocked. Harley Gal says for 143, says, do sub here. Thanks to Gorlick Bread, Foodie is the most defiant child I've ever seen. She never thinks ahead. She just expects everyone and everything to adhere to her way only. And Harley, this is what I see with a lot of streamers that end up in trouble, and a lot of places that when you end up finally getting in legal consequences because you think the rules don't apply to you, or you think you can do whatever you want, and that's where it hits the wall. And these, internet characters, these perhaps locals, if you might say, they can have a lot of incidents and they can get out a lot, but eventually they hit a wall of the law and running past something that they're called out on. And
you swore in court in the UK and got 30 days in jail? Oh, really, duping? That's crazy. Wow. Jesus. I've only ever been to court for jury duty, man. Court scares me. I'm a puss. I don't do anything wrong. I'm too scared to be yelled at by a fucking judge or something. Wow.
And they have motivated parties to come out and get that court legally. They often get away with.
Can I ask you, was it worth it? Sometimes you want to say something so bad, it's worth the consequences. Was it worth it? I'm just curious.
A lot. Before
tell the judge to fuck off.
Edgelord Sama 2892 says, hey Andrew, love what you do, brother. Thank you. You inspire me to do a timed diagnostic LSAT. 141st attempt, help me for 160. Wish me luck. Hey, number one thing I'm telling you right now, if you're going to take the LSAT, that's the lawyer exam. That's like the SAT for lawyers, right? You need to do it timed. You need to do it under test conditions. Put yourself in a room, no distractions. It's a clock and a pencil. No, nothing. No, your phone. Nothing. Do it under time, strict.
We'll never do it again.
Like the test says. Follow the instructions exactly. Take the break when it's the designated break. That's the only way to get an accurate score. Fallen Angel 6969 says, genuine question. Can people consult with lawyers in other countries to make sure you know what the laws are? So there are lawyers.
So can people consult with lawyers in other countries to make sure you know what the laws are? Okay.
That are capable in that country's law in every single country. So for example, I'm in Bangkok, Thailand right now. There's a law firm here that has lawyers from around the world, including there's a Kuwaiti lawyer there. There's a Saudi lawyer there. There's a Qatar lawyer there. Iran. There's all sorts of lawyers there.
How nice. How convenient. So this guy just mentioned a bunch of countries that Chantal likes to frequent in the Middle East and in Asia. Now he's got contacts in his own office from every one of those countries. How great. How helpful and convenient is that for us?
Russian,
for her.
Ukraine, Germany, Czech, England, whatever. There's all these lawyers that are there that practice the native law, because all around the world, there's people that want to do business with those other countries.
Thailand now,
so
yeah.
if someone wants to do business with America and they wanted somebody to look at their American corporate docs, I can do that whether I'm here or here in Thailand or back in America. It's the same. Now, I cannot comment legally on the law locally, so whether I'm in Japan or Korea or Thailand. I can't comment on Japanese, Korean, or Thai law authoritatively. But what I do on this channel is I try to generally understand the basics as a non-lawyer of that country would. And I think as an American lawyer, it helps me understand foreign law easier. That doesn't mean I can give an authoritative legal opinion, but it does help me understand it a lot easier and communicate what I think are some general things to my lovely audience in an entertaining way. So yes, you can.
I've never seen this guy, but I like him. He seems very personable. Please don't dig into this man. Leave this poor man alone if someone wants to dig into him because he says something mean about Foodie. I like this guy, though, to be fair.
Consult with lawyers, but make sure they specialize in the area that you want them to specialize.
Keep duping Delight out of the corner.
The rack quesadilla says, where in the world is Carmen Fenty? She's gonna kill me today. Gary Lee says, Al Bundy, a fat woman causing trouble. Ella Canción says, long live freedom, damn it. Hell yeah. Count Cracula has a new member. Welcome. Stoic Savage says she thinks her Canadian freedoms extend wherever she goes. It's an accumulation of years of arrogance and defiance. This is a big problem. This is a big problem with a lot of Westerners. When they come abroad, they have a huge problem with thinking that, and this happened with Ramsey Khalid Ismail, aka Johnny Somali, and Vitali as well, thinking that because they are either Americans or Vitali's a green card holder, Foodie Beauty is a Canadian, they think those Western things apply there, and they don't. They simply don't, including the presumptions in your favor. Right? We have a lot of presumptions of innocence that aren't necessarily held to everywhere in the world. So be very careful when you're abroad.
Hey, battered zebra.
When I have Tofi Too Fat says, oh my God, I'm dying knowing that poor Andrew made graves over poop.
And didn't turd.
I'm not even there yet, man. I'm touching the surface of this.
What that person
and
said?
I know turds float, but we do not have any.
Shit. Oh my God, I'm dying knowing that poor Andrew may have grazed over poop gate. Oh, he doesn't know a poop.
In there yet, man. I'm touching the surface of this. And I know turds float, but we do not have any turds.
Sir, if you need to, you could hold our hand. We're friendly here. You can hold our hand, and we'll walk you through poop gate. It's a lot. How do you even show? Hey, Sherry. How is it? How do you show someone? Oh my! See what I mean? Oh my God! Poop gate. Oh
the
God.
Bronwyn says the poor hijab looks like a stuffed sausage. Lily for DK 45 says the videos on Oh Lordy, it's Jordy on Foodie are really informative with an appropriate amount of humor. Hope that's okay. Yeah, let me look that up. And by the way, I want to give a little shout out. I know Farrah Fiasco already hit me up on email. So thanks for emailing me and offering to help me out with information. You guys are awesome. Really awesome community here. Kate Kerbal says, can she enter an insanity plea? Okay, Danielle, ban Kate Kerbal. Time him out for that shit. For those who don't know, it's an inside joke referring to the insanity plea, which cannot be played in many cases. World Traveler 139 says, Foodie's defiance finally caught up with her. She's lied and doubled down for years. As a longtime viewer, I hate to say it, but it's about time she faced real consequences. She's definitely losing money now. And that's a consequence as well, right? Even if she doesn't go to jail, losing money and having to deal with the stuff or paying for lawyers, that is a consequence. Anti-Al for 10 euros says, it's not just about wildlife. It's about the law prohibiting soliciting and collecting donations. She immediately used the kitten to motivate her money, and that's illegal. We're going to get there, Anti-Al.
We're excited, though. We can't help it. We're excited.
Norbert Folik says for 10 euros as well. Guten Tag, Uncle Mindset. Vielen Dank. I thought RKI was unbearable to watch. I wonder why people waste their time watching people bitching on the internet. Sorry if I offend anyone. Enjoy the soju. I know I will. I think it's knowing that they're just full of shit and just wanting to call them out for being full of shit. I understand that. Harley Gal 143, thank you, as a new member. What's the difference between the LSAT and the bar? The LSAT is what you take before you become a lawyer. It's what allows you to get into law school. The bar you only can take once you've successfully graduated from law school, and that's what makes you a lawyer. So the bar makes you a lawyer. The LSAT just gets you into law school. Remember, you can go to law school and never go anywhere and do anything with it. I knew girls that got into law school just to find a husband. I'm not kidding you. That they're my friends. They like told me, I know I'm just here to find a rich, like successful husband, right? And I'm like, okay, good on you. You know,
okay, that's a little weird.
K-Bear for 99 says also she's subjecting her husband and his family to consequences and backlash. She fled to Canada and left him there to face all that. She's disgusting. Her husband is not a citizen of Kuwait either. That's an important fact. That's a very important fact, because if he is not a citizen of Kuwait, there's a lot of rights he may not have in their system. There's something called standing, which is ability to come before the court. And also in terms of your defensive rights. Now, I'm not fully familiar with their criminal system, but in many systems, including in the United States, if you are a non-citizen, you're not subject to the same level of protections that citizens are in terms of the consequences for your actions. Fat Cow Chronicles for 5.
Oh, there's Fat Cow.
Says traffic violations, e-begging, filming in government buildings, people in public and cemeteries, working without a license, defamation, and cohabitation. These are the ones I've heard. Now, I also have seen. Now, the problem is Fat Cow, and I will cite the humble fruit farmers. I've seen people lay out those criticisms and say these are things she did that are wrong, and then I've seen people debunk those.
Here's the problem with Kiwi Farms. You have Chantal Stans, aka Griff Gang and her Beezers, who will literally do anything to destroy the reaction channel community because they hate us that much. So because this is the problem, like people that don't know the lore. If you think about it this way, you come into this community in 2025 and you don't know who to believe. You don't. Are you supposed to believe this our side or the other little tiny side that like says that we're all nuts and we're all crazy? Like, you know what I mean? Like it's hard to gauge it because like everyone kind of sounds a little crazy, you know?
So I what I would have to do is I would have to go into each of those one by one and look at the evidence and say, okay, well, what's the evidence for this? And weigh it and say, okay, is this something? Some of these things also I believe happen in Canada, and some of these happen in Kuwait. Canada, from what I understand, Canada wouldn't.
There is video proof, right? But there's a lot. Listen, imagine trying to find like it's hard. How do you jump into something? You know,
not to, like extradite somebody to face crimes in Canada. And I know a lot about Canada. I'm going to talk about this because I have a very close friend who works for the Canadian Embassy, and before this, I talked to them about that.
So he has a friend who works at the Canadian Embassy. So this guy has a direct connection to someone in the Canadian Embassy, which is very valuable.
Because they deal with a lot of deportations, because there are a ton of deportations of Canadians for rowdy behavior. And they're very familiar with what happens in these cases. So, but I will say this, and I've talked to them about this. Canada is not going to extradite people for minor offenses abroad or minor offenses from Canada. So let's say you had, I'm just going to give an example. Let's say you had a DUI in Canada and like you got out of Canada while that was still processing, right? You left the country. Canada is not going to order some other country to deport you for that, to say, hey, we're gonna go over there, do all the paperwork, do all the work to get somebody deported for DUI. That just does not happen. It tends to be a more serious offense. And I see you, by the way, I see you in the chat, people saying there's evidence. I'm not saying there's not evidence. I'm not saying there's not. I'm just saying I haven't seen it yet. And also, one real quick rule. I know we said it in the chat, but I'm saying it. Please do not put caps in the chat. We have very simple chat rules, which is follow the YouTube terms of service. Don't spam the same stuff all over again, and no caps. So please do not do all caps. You will get timed out of ban. Larry Power says 5 will get you 10. She ate that cat. MK
she ate that cat.
Says Piggy says we all the way to Kuwait. Arslar Doom Rider says it's almost as if you say all the time there's a honeymoon phase when you move somewhere, then reality sets in, you either accept or you leave. Yes, I've said that a lot, haven't I, Archlord Doom Rider? And that's what separates the expats from the tourists. A tourist will only stay somewhere until they get sick of it. An expat will accept the fact that there are going to be things they're not going to like, and they have to deal with them and realize that the positives outweigh the negatives. Razor Wire and Piercing says cope and see. Unava Too Fat says women aren't oppressed in Kuwait, guys. Chantal. I think
yeah, apparently Kuwait is really the safest country ever. There's no PDFs there. There's no abuse there. There's nothing there. It's just people being nice to each other. And Foodie.
I saw that clip, by the way. I think I saw that clip. Callie Ray for 799 says, it's like that American woman who got in trouble for picking up a wild baby wombat in Australia. She fled the country. Yes. Callie Ray, yes. I covered this way back when it happened. This is a perfect example. And this can happen with all sorts of animals where, especially you touch them, oftentimes, if you touch a baby animal as a human, our scent, our pheromones, the oil from our skin, whatever, it gets on that baby animal, and the mother animal doesn't want anything to do with it.
Now, who did we watch recently? Just before Chantal quit YouTube for this little hiatus that she's taking, this little sabbatical. Who did we watch, guys? Remember we stumbled across a video of a really gross lady. She claims she's like 40, but she looks like she's like a billion years old, which is fine. You know, she's kind of nasty. You remember her? Do you remember her? Do you remember what she was touching? A newborn baby deer. Just to touch it.
And beyond that, if you feed it, it might get used to being fed by you and reject feeding for the mother. So even if you gave it back, even if the mother doesn't abandon that kid, it may not feed for the mother anymore because it got used to being fed, right? So there's a lot of reasons why you might want to stay away from baby animals. A lot of reasons. So don't mess with baby animals. And even, for example, with a bird out of a tree, right? Just because you see a baby bird at the bottom of the tree doesn't necessarily mean it's a bad thing, right? There's reasons why it might be there. Garrett Griffin says she reminds me of the Ron White joke. She has the right to remain silent, but not the ability. Big Booty for Five says some animals will abandon babies if they smell like humans. There you go. There you go. See,
I mean, there's a reason, Specs, that Nicole was one of them that was like really adamant about her taking the cat and was giving her money actively in the chat. Animal abusers attract other animal abusers. Honest to God. You made a video on Nicole? Ooh, I'll check it out.
I didn't catch up. You said it exactly. There's plenty of reasons not to do it. I know that people mean well, but still.
Just don't touch the animals.
Says, what type of lawyer you need for a New York Bank Lisbon resident? And ooh, that's interesting. Trust an estate lawyer. Go to a trust and estate lawyer. If the money is in New York, maybe start with a New York lawyer. If you're a resident of Lisbon, Portugal, then
I have a legal question to ask him. Ooh, he just answers legal questions. Hey, Luna, how are you, sweetheart?
There might be some issues, but I would start with if the assets are located in New York, start with the New York Estates and Trust lawyer. Asian Dragon 456 says, Andrew, does lawyer and barrister are the same that a client and I are? There's no distinction in the US. There is a distinction in the UK. Yes. Super says, I can't even relate to the ability to shut up. She says she's leaving because she wants to talk. I would leave first.
You think we ran Nicole off? No, I think other people, listen, no one really that's the nice thing about my channel is not a lot of people watch me. So like not a lot of people are aware of what we talk about here. So I don't think it was us that ran her off. I think other people like ran her because they remember she got doxxed, right? Like she got doxxed the next day. So that probably ran her off. I don't think it was us. I really don't.
First, then talk. Like we get it already. Warren A says, speaking for all Canadians, we don't want her back. Well, you might have to take her back. Justin Sub said she knew about that, but she had done it so many times before and not received consequences. I'm going to read a couple more and then we're going to go here because there's a lot. So we'll read three. Let's see here. Where Schniffer says, Girl World and legal commentary Venn diagram and legal mindset in the middle. Yeah, boy. Platy said, imagine a female Ethan Ralph with an addiction to food instead of alcohol. Now that's an image I didn't need in my head. Ruthie for 499 says, Foodie lied in the police reports. Even freedom of speech can't keep her out of trouble. Now, this is a big one.
And she did provide and I wrote a super chat in saying she provided a false fucking alibi.
So, Ruthie, if this is true, in almost every jurisdiction.
That's true. Yeah, well, I mean, like she was doxxed. Like all of her information got compiled and put on the farms, to be fair. Like she got really, like, we know what type of blood she is right now. That's pretty crazy.
Sure. That is a big one. Now, I'm not sure. No, hold on. I'm not sure.
Yeah, that wasn't us.
And y'all are going to fill me in if this happened in Canada or in Kuwait. But if this happened in Canada, she could have some serious consequences. That's very true. That's very true. Okay, two more. We're going to continue. We're going to get back into what happened in.
That's okay. It's okay to be nice. You could still be nice to someone and, braid them up and down too while you're nice.
In Kuwait, why I think it's a problem.
I do it every day at work.
Ruthie says, Foodie lied in the police reports. Even freedom of speech can't keep her out of trouble. And Sarah Lee says, I've been watching since Dep.
Not Sarah Lee. This is not the real Sarah Lee.
Korea, awesome. And started watching Girl World maybe a year later. It's the crossover I never knew I needed. Yeah, I'm seeing some of you. Like I know Secret Squirrel, I think was around for the Dep stuff as well. And I know that there's different people have different audiences, right? Some of them have a different male-female split. Some of them have an older versus younger split. So it's very interesting that I get a crossover audience. But you're all welcome here. Just be polite in the chat, and we're all good. And then the last one here before I can.
Sweet summer child has no idea what he's getting into.
Continue. My name is pronounced unable to flee too fat. Yeah. I should have gotten
able to flee too fat. That was funny.
Guys, I acknowledge sometimes I'm not too bright. In fact,
look, here's the thing. Listen, I'll be honest with you.
Ugh.
I'm kind of retarded.
So she talked about a mega stream where
I'm not an Alex Jones fan. That guy should be in jail.
I go over all of her transgressions. That would be a lot.
Very odd one.
I like to break it into chunks. So I typically like my streams to go between an hour and 2 hours. I will do a 3-hour stream if I'm really in the zone. Tomorrow's might be a 3-hour stream. We'll see. It's
3-hour stream tomorrow. Ooh la la.
Somali related, so I'm really in on that one.
Oh, that's the Johnny Somali thing. I don't follow that case.
This one I was planning anywhere between 1 hour and 2 hours. So we're already at an hour and we're not done yet. So we're probably going for 2. Alfred Bach says, thank you for being part of Chantel's well-deserved karma. Especially appreciate you mentioning the harm of humans interfering with animals. Maybe, yeah, exactly. We should not think that we're, as humans, we have the hubris of being right always in terms of our interactions with nature. But let's continue with the presentation with my PP here. So here's what we have. We have proof here, proof positive, of Foodie Beauty soliciting a donation for saving the cat. So PayPal.me/Foodie Beauty, PayPal for saving the new kitty. So she is clearly soliciting a donation. This is not like ambiguous. This is a straight donation. It's trade solicitation of a donation.
I hope he does tweet T. I really hope he does.
For the cat, right? And then going on, she also posted this post about saving animals and talking about rescue groups like Kitty Love Kuwait.
And this is where Chantal quoted Kitty Love Kuwait, and then Kitty Love Kuwait came out with a statement like, I am not affiliated whatsoever to this woman. Chantal, you are fucked. That is called getting fucking canceled. When people who have never interacted with you want nothing the fuck to do with you, when you try to use them in your slap fight against the Kuwaiti government, this is fucking, you can't even make this shit up. This is a novel. This is the world's slowest action movie ever.
And engaging.
I hope she did make a complaint, Joanna. I really do.
Solicitation through reference to.
Kimberlina says, Foodie is currently unfollowing Kuwait places and things on Instagram. Just saw it on Twitter. I'm telling you guys, she is in fucking Canada. She is in Canada.
These organizations. However,
damn.
And I do believe, there's the cat with the mother, right? But I do believe these organizations were unaffiliated with her. Unaffiliated to the point that they actually filed a complaint against her, right? In Kuwait. That they actually had a complaint filed against her this month.
She's watching everything right now. She can't, and here's the thing, she's not letting it out, right? She's not going to therapy. She's not
on the second. So this is an actual legal consequence. So to be fair, guys, seeing there was a complaint actually
I hope
got
she
me
I agree. For her own sake, I hope she's in Canada. I hope she left the next day after that whole,
most interested in this because there's an actual legal filing, right? So now it's not just drama anymore. You have a complaint. You have an actual thing filed against her, right? It's objectively true. It's not drama. It's not anything. It's objectively true that she had a complaint filed against her. So I can say that, and it's just true. It's not defamatory. It's not me making fun of her weight.
Put that on Twitter, mister. Change your name to something that no one knows who you are. Put that on Twitter and watch people come for you. Because you'll be the bad guy for wanting Chantal to face consequences for the illegal things she has done. Make that make sense. Welcome to Girl World. Buckle up, motherfuckers. It's going to be a bumpy ride.
It's not any of that. It's just, okay, objectively, she has.
I agree, Crime and Crochet, for sure.
And,
she's watching everything.
The big thing was that the team Pause Kuwait came out and completely disowned her. And they were the ones, if you go back here, Pause Kuwait, that co-signed filing of this document.
Mm-hmm.
So they mention here when they talk about this, and I'll read this because I know the text is kind of hard to read. Official update regarding the rescued kitten and her mother. There's been a lot of misinformation circulating regarding the stolen kitten.
And just think, none of this would be happen. She would still be in Kuwait right now if she had never taken that cat. She would still be living her boring, miserable, mukbang, shitty life in Kuwait in that fucking fart box. If she listened to the reaction channels. Again, if you had just listened to us, this would not be happening. You would literally not be on the run.
Notice the language stolen kitten.
She did it to herself 100. She was exactly.
Kitten and her mother have been
not even just warned. People said this is not a good idea. Trying to talk sense into her. Warning, I feel like is kind of don't do it. You're going to get in trouble. people were being nice about it. Like even her buddy Yo Mama was like, don't do this. Like this is not a good idea. Not a good look. The catalyst was a tiny kitten. I love it. I love the fact that the cat got a green card before fucking Salah. That is the best.
Rescued by one of the trusted team members,
Go ahead and report
have
me.
already examined and treated at the Royal Animal Hospital. All medical expenses have been fully covered by Paws Kuwait. Please note, anyone currently asking for donations on behalf of the kitten or mother is not associated with our team in any way. No further donations are required or being requested by us. The kittens were discharged today and are under foster care. We are currently working to secure a forever home for them in the USA. This matter is now under legal review. Our legal team, along with the relevant authorities, will be taking appropriate action against any individuals or pages who have used this case to collect unauthorized donations. That would be Foodie Beauty, right? Clearly, it's on the nose. She did that. An official statement will follow shortly. Thank you for interesting in the most support team's Paws Kuwait. So they clearly took action. They filed. So boom, they're there. Okay, so I want to talk to you guys about charity fraud. So in the West, charity fraud is something that, and this is for Canada, US generally. Once again, I'm an American lawyer, a Florida lawyer, but this is generally true in the West. Charity fraud involves some form of deception. So a fake charity, a misrepresented charity, impersonation, or diversion of funds, taking charity funds for personal use. It appears that Foodie Beauty, Chantal, maybe have hit bingo on this. In terms of what this is in the West, she did almost all of these things.
Right.
So she actually said at one point, this is something else, I didn't think I added this to the PowerPoint, but she actually said that she had her own charity. Like I saw the clip of the post where she was trying to say that she had a charity. First of all, charities have to register.
Wait, she said she had a charity? Really? I don't remember that. She might have, I just don't remember that.
Have to have a license, right?
She said she had a charity?
That's a huge thing. You can't just create a charity and say, oh, but no, I have a charity now. That's not how that works.
Wait. When did she say she had a charity? I'm really confused on that because I don't think I've ever heard her say that. Did you guys ever hear her say that?
So that's a fake charity. Misrepresenting. So misrepresenting that you are associated with the charity. She did that with Paws Kuwait.
Yeah, what? See, I don't think... Does he think... Wait a second. Oh, thank you. Thanks, Bex. I appreciate you. Does he think she was impersonating Paws Kuwait? If he does, someone please tell him that's not the case. She did not. There's no way. She did not do that. She does a lot of things, but we don't have to make anything up over here, right? He's galloping off of what that atozy guy said. See what I mean? These big channels, they only want to listen to big channels, like other big channels. It's like, no, bro. They don't do their research because they just want to jump in. I hate that. Please. We'll help you. I'll help you, Mr. Legal Eagle. I'll help you.
Charity. And say, oh, no, I have a charity now. That's not how that works.
For donation, she set herself as a charity, really?
Misrepresenting. So misrepresenting that you are associated with the charity. She did that with Paws Kuwait. And presenting that you are associated with the charity. She did that with Paws Kuwait. And you can put that in with impersonation if you want to.
I don't think she ever said that. I don't know. I'm not going to fight that either way because I don't remember.
Either way. She pretended she was with some people she wasn't. But last, diversion of funds. So she took the funds. It looks like she took the funds and did not spend them and for the intended purpose. So there was...
I know, Joanna, we're going to watch that one tomorrow. I'm going to save the atozy video because I guarantee all your favorite reaction channels tomorrow, they're probably going to be reviewing this one. So tomorrow I'm going to do the atozy one. And I might be a little bit late tomorrow. I'm not sure. But tomorrow we'll do the atozy one because that one, I was not a fan of that one. Let's just... Foodie Beauty would not get out of bed for a fucking Klondike bar. Like, who are you kidding?
A lot of deception that looks involved here. She never had such a charity. Okay, well, let's take that one out. Let's benefit her. Let's give her, because I like to give people the benefit of the doubt. Let's take that one out. Here's the problem with any of the defenses to that, right? Here's the problem. In Kuwait, the law does not regulate charity fraud.
Okay, John Smith, thank you.
It actually is a total prohibition on donations. We
went over that. Remember, we went over the day the law changed in May. We went over it. I read it out to you guys. How is it that we are aware of the law and she's not? how are we? Most of us are in the West, whatever country you're in doesn't matter. How are us little noobs, little tiny noobs, being noobs? How are we aware of the laws in Kuwait, which is thousands of fucking miles away, and she's not? We are smart.
So this is an
care,
article,
man, right? It's wild.
A blanket ban on donations.
We are all haters. That's true.
Targeting all entities. A recent decision to
we're all evil haters. We're terrible people.
ban donations in Kuwait. Let's focus on this.
I know,
Let's
Ashley.
enhance here, guys. Let's enhance.
Way.
Extends beyond charitable organizations and covers all legal and personal entities without exception. What does that mean? A legal and personal entity means yourself.
Right. Because it's really easy to scam people if you're trying to collect money for for charity. It's easy to scam people, especially if you're not really you're not registered in some database and people can keep an eye on your funds, like where they're going. You know what I mean? Fadnama, thank you so much for the super chat. Finally getting her big attention and can't go live. I'm telling you. Listen, the past couple of weeks have been the best weeks for me on YouTube, and I'm sure I'm not the only Chantal reactor that has had that. Stay away, Chantal. Stay away. It's less chatter. It's less of her bullshit and more bullshit she tiles on top of more bullshit. At least now we can sit here and talk. We could talk to other communities and get information and trade information from them. This guy, love it.
Any business, any person cannot.
Oh, you're going to see her on fucking Netflix. We're going to see her on Netflix.
Collect donations. It's a full-on ban. A full-on ban. That's pretty serious. And to be honest,
I just highlight this because Specs, I want to share you guys. Specs used to be in Foodie's chat. Specs is cool as shit. Foodie Beauty had me convinced that anyone in reaction channels would make fun of you, dox you, and ruin your life if you went there. And now Specs hangs out in all the chats. Specs is very active in the chats, and everyone likes Specs. And Specs realizes we're not bad people over here. We're not what she thinks and she claims us to be. Thank you, Specs.
It's pretty extreme. But when you look at what's happened,
okay, I will
see why they're doing this. And I want to show here, because this article actually goes on and says, this source stressed that all forms of fundraising, particularly through bank links or digital platforms like PayPal, are under strict scrutiny, whether personal or corporate. Any individual or entity found in breach will face legal accountability, investigation, and referable to public prosecution for appropriate legal action. In recent developments, security forces arrested an imam for soliciting donations through WhatsApp. If they're out there throwing imams in jail, I don't think that Foodie Beauty is going to hold a lot more sway than the imam.
Sorry, Joanne, that link for some reason is not working. It wants me to download some strange app I've never heard of. It's not working for me. It's just grayed out.
I'm just throwing that out there. And by the way, one of the reasons I looked into the background on this, one of the reasons is there is a big issue with embezzlement. And by the way, this is true in the United States too. Charities are often used for fraud.
Yep.
And this is a very big problem globally, especially in the West. Charities are used for fraud. So what Kuwait is trying to do is they're looking at cases like this where there's embezzlement. This is embezzlement for a property development that was going to be a charity that was going to build a model village, and they just embezzled all the money. So
I think Big Korean was here earlier. I saw him in this guy's chat earlier. So
they're saying, hey, we're going to crack down on this because we see charities as a weakness. We see charities as an area where corruption is a problem. It's a huge problem. So let's put it over here. So in the West, charity fraud is a problem. So if people say, so let's pretend that Foodie Beauty is doing this for bad reasons, right? So if she was doing this for bad reasons, then in the West, she wouldn't be able to do it. But somebody who's good, a Mother Teresa-like figure, a saint, a person who is doing this for great reasons, could do it in the West because they're not defrauding anybody. They're being awesome, right? The Mother Teresas are fine of the world, right? The ones that are good and they're doing it for the right purpose.
Oh,
in Kuwait, it doesn't matter whether your mother,
an American food blogger tried to diss Kuwait. Okay,
Teresa, or your Foodie Beauty. And by the way, this is not a me being whatever. I'm just trying to give a point here, guys. We're not going into the backstory of Mother Teresa. Get my point here. My point is, whether you have good intentions or bad intentions, it doesn't matter. In Kuwait, you're prohibited. It's a straight up prohibition. Now, what's going to happen to her? Okay, let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about Kuwaiti citizenship. So Kuwaiti citizenship is birthright. It's jus sanguinis, which is there's two types of birthright that's like by the blood or by the presence in the country.
Yes.
There's by blood, and there's also naturalization. There's two ways to become a Kuwaiti citizen. Naturalization requires 20 years, a minimum.
What the fuck is this, Joanna? I'm going to share this. I'm sharing this. Joanna just sent me this. It's from a website called lovin.co. I found it. Look. January 23rd, 2025. An American food blogger tried to diss Kuwait's hygiene only to get super owned. Have you seen this? You've seen this tweet? I've never seen it. Foodie Beauty tells us once again how beautiful Kuwait is. Kuwaiti-based food beauty YouTuber Foodie Beauty recently went on a rant online claiming that Kuwait's streets are full of dead rodents everywhere and not livable. This happens on every day on YouTube, right? Wrong. This time it made it to Reddit. What? One Redditor who was still unsure about going to Kuwait saw Beauty's post and took it to Reddit, asking one question that awakened a battle in the comments. They asked, "Is Kuwait really like this?" Yeah. Yeah. Hold on. Yeah. Hold on one sec. What should I? Okay, hold on. I'm just titling this. Okay, Joanna, I'm gonna tag you in this, Joanna, because oh my God. Joanna, what the fuck? Where's your name on here? Oh my God. Sorry, Joanna. For some reason, it won't let me tag you, but I'm posting this now. Okay. All right, I'm back. I posted it on Twitter just to blast it out. One Redditor who was still unsure about going to Kuwait saw Beauty's post and took it to Reddit, asking one question. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Is Kuwait really like this? This YouTuber's Kuwait hygienist. Oh my God. Okay, hold on. Let me go back. Very soon after, Kuwaitis flooded the comment section with claims that her words meant nothing, that it was all made up for clout. Miriam's also the lady from Kitty Love. Wait, Miriam is Kitty. Is that the blonde lady? Oh my God. Residents soon jumped to Kuwait's defense, though some had a wild sense of humor about it. What does it say? Does she mean Kuwait or New York? She made these claims to justify her burying her hamster on the beach. I have been in Kuwait for 2 years. I have only seen one dead rat, but sadly, I have seen many cats in deplorable conditions. She's not American. She's Canadian. Saw your article online. FYI, she's Canadian American. Although every Canadian I know doesn't claim her. What? This is a Canadian YouTuber that is also working there illegally on a tourist visa and illegally soliciting donations for her personal pets and her food. What does she mean everywhere? Oh my God. She's not American. She's Canadian. No, I lived in Kuwait like I was born there. Never seen even one dead or alive rat ever in my life. I haven't seen any rats here. Been here for 7 years. Holy shit. Oh my God. Okay. Wow. This was not the end of it, of course. In typical Reddit nature, the tea only gets hotter from here. Turns out Miss Foodie Beauty is well known in her Our Kuwait subreddit. Some even weren't surprised to see her there, exclaiming, "Oh, not this lady again," and other similar statements. Now the question on everyone's mind, who is Foodie Beauty? According to Reddit detectives, aka CSI, she is an expat wife. She's not an expat, living in Kuwait, who's moved there shortly after getting married to a Kuwaiti Syrian man. He's just Syrian. There are other statements that, due to some legal biases, no one is getting into seriously. While many Kuwaitis jumped to the nation's defense, some made some more logical statements, claiming that Kuwait is overall clean as a country like any other one. Some areas are less maintained. Okay, blah, blah, blah. Nobody cares. There is nothing quite as exciting as a Reddit comment war, but the question remains, what do you think? Oh my God, that was it. I posted it on Twitter. If you're not, yeah, he's just Syrian. Yeah, he's not Kuwaiti at all. He just lives in Kuwait. Oh, that was from January. Oh my God. Specs, have a great day. Thanks for popping in, honey. Hope you have a great rest of your day. If you're not on Twitter, please follow me on Twitter, Farrah Fiasco, just like my YouTube name. Okay, well, we're going to go back. Thank you for sharing that. Oh my God. That was back in January. So it was 5 months ago. Holy shit.
20 years for non-Arabs, 15 for Arabs, of continuous legal residence. So unbroken. You have to be there continuously. It requires proof of stable income, a good reputation, which is subjective. And
look at this. So we know she could never be an Arabic citizen. This is just a moot point, really.
Kuwaiti, from what I gather, a few years.
Her family must be mortified. Her family doesn't care. I am fully convinced her family's like, fuck it. Like, what are they supposed to do? They were probably so relieved when she went to Kuwait because she wasn't, at least she was out of their hair for at least a while. Now she's back. Yeah, report me. I don't care.
To even think about qualifying for this. And by the way, it is a long time.
What if?
And
yeah,
that's
you're
very
right.
difficult in many Gulf state countries. They make naturalization very difficult. In fact, in some countries, it's impossible. It's only birthright. But yeah, this is hard to get, guys. This is not one. This is not one. And why does this matter? Because in my mind, and speaking to the person in the Canadian embassy, as a non-Kuwaiti citizen, and we talked about this in my nuisance stream, so everybody in my nuisance stream is going to know what's happening right now. What is the most common thing that happens to any non-citizen when they misbehave abroad?
What is the most common thing that happens when a non-citizen disobeys the law abroad? What happens, guys? Hey, I love black cats. How are you, honey? Welcome, welcome. You guys know what would happen.
Chat, I'm going to look at you right now in the chat. What chat? I'm paying attention to chat right now. We'll see who gets
looking at us, guys.
What is the most common thing that happens when you misbehave abroad?
No jail. Deportation. Yep.
Deportation. Yes, okay. Everybody's got it here. Boom.
Deportation.
Boom. Josie was the first. Timo's in there. Sitlan's in there. Danielle, of course, is in there. Falaric. You guys got it. Yeah.
Listen, I know I mentioned the Housewives of New Jersey quite a lot, but this is a good like parallel similarity here. If you know Teresa Giudice from the Real Housewives of New Jersey, her and her husband went to jail. Her husband was born in Italy, and when he was a year old, his parents moved him to the United States. So technically, he was a citizen, never got his paperwork completed. They made a fucking example out of him, and that man has never been allowed. He was deported. He's never allowed back in the United States ever again. He has 4 children here. He had to get divorced. Like, he's never allowed back here, and they made an example out of him. It could happen. Hey, pink strawberries. It could happen to her.
That is the wrong answer. Deportation. Yes, deportation, guys. And this is not. I know we talk about deportation a lot in America right now. This is not unique to America. Other countries deport people all the time. All the time.
Joe Giudice.
Very
yeah.
much.
Or sorry, Giudice. However you want to, Giudice. However you want to fucking say it.
Deport people.
However you're saying it today,
Kuwait
guys.
is not shy to deport people. Kuwait
Pink
has
strawberry. You're gonna have to go back.
Controversial figures. And let me go backward here. As a non-citizen, you have no legal right to remain in that country. She is a non-citizen. She has no right to be in that country. Kuwait can remove her.
I love you, PETA.
At any time if they find she violated laws or any form of undesirable behavior. Kuwait has deported protesters. They've deported controversial figures like writers and authors, people who make movies. Right?
So Kuwait can remove her. If a non-citizen, you have absolute no legal right to remain. Exactly. They can, listen, you can get deported for fucking anything. People can make something up and you can get deported for it. Therefore, Kuwait would be justified to remove or deport her if they found she violated their laws, blah, 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 or engage in any form of undesirable conduct. Kuwait has deported protesters and controversial figures, writers, etc.
They've deported plenty of people. They are not shy at deporting people.
Okay, Pink.
And her husband, who's non-Kuwaiti, can also face the same things. All they have to do is say she is an
I'm watching Hell's Kitchen. I'm like on to episode like or season like 12. I'm like rewatching Hell's Kitchen randomly, like in the background while I'm like doing work. So like, really, he got. Oh my God, Jin's Wasta Crimes. Where have you been? Oh, thank you for the incredibly generous super chat. Love and hugs to all here, taking care of Grands and Norma Jean, our new addition. Poor girl has one eye and sweet as can be, but I'm going to be a replay gang. Big hugs. Thank you so much for the super chat. It's so nice to see your face in the chat again. Oh my goodness. Thank you so much. Love to you. Love to your new Norma Jean. I love a little new family member that is a little bit different. I love me a little handicapped kitty. Thank you so much, honey. Appreciate you.
She or her husband or both of them are undesirable and they can deport them. And they don't have to give them
a lot,
massive amount of
Kelly.
due
A
process,
lot.
et cetera, right? These are not asylum seekers. There's not other categories here. These people would.
Jins is back again. Shady's back. Tell a friend. Guess
be
who's back?
kicked out
Guess who's
relatively
back?
swiftly
Guess who's
if
back?
they choose to
Guess
deport
who's
them.
back?
And speaking to my contact, who's very familiar with Canadians and misbehavior abroad, that is what they do. And Canada would facilitate a deportation. So sorry, Canadians, your government, and I don't know if they tell you this, but this is from my connection who works at the embassy, and Canadians, and it's going to hurt your feelings, but you guys pay for a lot of deportations. Your tax dollars pay for a lot of deportations. So
Did you hear that? I'm going to play that again. I'm going to slow it down a little bit just so you can, because I know it's a little fast. I'll slow it down a little bit. Listen to what he says about what Canada will do.
kicked out relatively swiftly if they choose to deport them. And speaking to my contact, who's very familiar with Canadians and misbehavior abroad, that is what they do. And Canada would facilitate a deportation. So sorry, Canadians, your government, and I don't know if they tell you this, but this is from my connection who works at the embassy, and Canadians, and it's going to hurt your feelings, but you guys pay for a lot of deportations. Your tax dollars pay for a lot of deportations. So what I mean is you do pay every year, Canadians, a lot to take Canadians that misbehave and bring them back home to Canada.
So those of you that are still Team Kuwait, if she is still in Canada, like he just said, he has a friend in the Canadian embassy. He said Canadian taxpayer dollars pay for deportations. So everyone that lives in Canada, you guys would be paying if Chantal got deported to Canada, if she got deported back to Canada. Let that sink in. Not only are you paying for her health care when she barely doesn't even pay her taxes.
It's a lot. So
prison diet, crime,
that
and
is the most
crochet, yeah.
likely thing if they go through with this.
Or the jail
if this
bees.
go through, not 7 years in jail or a year in jail. It is almost certain, 95% plus, that it'd be a deportation.
She wouldn't care at that point, though.
I hate to say it. I hate to be honest. I got to be honest with you guys.
See, I don't think deportation would phase her in the same way that like hard time would phase her, like fines would phase her. You know what I mean?
You know, she's not going to get.
She's never going to go back.
That's one thing that
we'll
I'm
never
pretty
hear Crazy Frog
sure
again.
of. Now, deportation is not fun either, and she could be in deportation lockup for a while. That's possible, right? So like they take you somewhere, they lock you up, and they for a little bit, and then they figure out when to deport you. They could do that. That's possible, but she's not going to like hard labor for 7 years. That's not going to happen. Yes. So that's my. I think that is that where I got. Yeah, that's my PowerPoint for that, and that's where I had.
If you guys are enjoying, please hit the like button if you're having a nice time. Make sure you're subscribed if you're interested.
Analysis. Now, there are other things that I think they could use against her. And one of the things I think is interesting, and one of my challenges for those in Girl World and those that are the reaction channels and the commentary channels and the people commenting on
We're
this,
listening.
is they can use other crimes from other countries as the basis for deportation. So if they were to receive information about misbehavior in other countries and things that make her undesirable, and they were to receive information of that, and it was real stuff, it was stuff that was in the record, if there's a police report, etc.
What about her?
Stuff they could take into consideration.
And that's when I sent my super chat. That's when I was like, well, what about providing a false fucking alibi for a man who was alleged to commit essay? That's pretty much, listen, that is such shit. That is probably one of the most shittiest things that she has ever done. In my opinion, I think it trumps a lot of her more epic moments. Life with Ron, thank you for gifting 5 channel memberships. It's so kind of you. Thank you for your support, honey. Let me see who got them. Let me see who got them. Let me see who got them. Thank you. Okay. Crime and Crochet, welcome. Azzy, What If, Dark West, and Moni JV. Welcome, guys. Please thank the very generous Ron in the chat. Enjoy the emojis, enjoy the burgers, and yeah, welcome to the Cool Kids Club. Thank you, Ron. Appreciate you.
So, my question to all of you would be,
Joanne,
what stuff is material enough? What stuff has enough proof or police reports, etc., that could be used?
I mean, falsifying a police report. This the police. Remember her going to fucking the police station on a live stream, so fucking happy and smug, and then walking it right back. Yeah, I remember that.
To send to Kuwait to reinforce.
You too, Ron, have a great day.
Their decision
Thank
to
you.
deport her.
Have a great week.
I think that's the focused, objective question, and that's what I think is very interesting. And that's what I might.
Hey, Danderson, welcome.
Because that's what I think is really good.
Hope you're having fun.
That's the kill shot. Big Buddha says you found a drawing of my Chokey boy as a baby. Okay, thank you. Okay. Unable to flee too fat. Says she habitually begs for cat's medical needs. Then 180s and mocks that she could do whatever she wants with the donuts because it's her money now. Yeah, that's not how it works, even in the U.S. Hackfish says Kuwait.
I mean, there is the whole. I mean, that was pretty well documented when I forget who the beezer was who gave her money so she could take BBJ to the vet. It was like $300 or something, and Foodie Beauty refused to fucking do it, and then said she was going to pay the lady back, and then didn't, and then got called out for it, and then just dug her fucking heels in and was like, "This is my money now. I could do with it however I want to do with it." You know, her skeletons are falling out of the closet. Yeah, what's left of them for sure.
Legal punishment. She didn't know. Capital punishment. That she's not
exactly, Kelly.
As much as that is a good joke, which I understand. She's not going to capital punishment.
Shins Buster Crimes, thank you for the super chat. I say Kuwait because she didn't have funds to leave, and her ODD made her think she truly has wasta. The law brags about his life, lies. So you're team Kuwait. Okay, that's fair. I mean, I've heard some really good theories on both sides. Do you don't think that her mom would have thank you so much for the support as usual, honey. I appreciate love you so much. You don't think her mom would have given her, because let's be fair. Both of her parents, like both of her mom and her stepdad work, right? It's not like they're on the street, they don't have enough money to live. You don't think her mom wouldn't have ponied up like $1,500 for her to get back to Kuwait? I think she would have, but that's just my opinion. I don't know. I think her mom and her auntie would have gotten the money together to get her home if it was that dire. I think they care about her a little bit, maybe. I don't know.
Miraculous.
Thank you, honey. Appreciate you.
Curious cat chats. It says BBJ's revenge.
Right.
She's at her. She's on the walk, hiding to blend in. I think it's going to be hard for her to blend in. Lily says, shout out to the mods in the chat. You shout out to Danielle, JP Ravenfire. Great mods. These guys are great. They're just trying to help.
He had some great mods in the chat. Danielle. I liked Danielle. She was cool.
You know, they enforce the rules, but our rules are very simple. Courtcast says, legal mindset. Do you have any more profound legal wisdom about Destiny versus Pixie? Been pretty silent lately. Dollar store legal W.
I don't know what that is.
No, I've commented on this before with Destiny and Pixie. They're going to settle, and everything they're doing is signaling to me they're going to settle at some point. It's not very exciting. It's not very one could be a boring little needling. I'm just being real with you, just being honest. And that's why I haven't covered it too much, because it's really just boring. It's not that.
You want another where is she poll? Okay, yeah, I'll do that. All right. New poll, quick one. Let's see. Unfortunately, I can only put 3 options, so. Okay. Incoming.
It's not that crazy. Chloe 499 appreciate the perspective. As a lawsuit.
Meg says, when I was about to move to Kuwait and marry my man, my family intervened. Damn. I mean, listen, that's what family does, right? Family's just in your shit. They're in your business. They want to make sure you're not getting swindled. You're not going to get taken, especially if you're like that far away by yourself. You know, it's scary. I think there was a time when Chantal helped them out financially. She hinted and kind of slipped during the Cuba rage. Probably a lie, too. I mean, I'm sure she's given her mom some money. I hope she would.
Legal language is needs sometimes. Thank you. That's what I try to do. What I try to do is take stuff that's confusing and make it simple. Now, of course, once again, I'm not a foreign lawyer, but
and just like a sidebar, like thinking about how much money she used to make, and like I hope to God she did treat her mom to something, and like her sister. Nothing feels better than to do something for your family, like your parents, right? Like if you're able to pay off their bills or to pay for their house or finish their mortgage or like just take them to dinner, like take care of your parents if they're out there still. Like she is never once that we have seen ever appreciated all the shit that her mother, say what you want about her mother and think what you want about Shmi, but like they have done a lot for her.
I do try to understand that and communicate that to you in a very simple and entertaining way.
I don't,
I try to do my best.
You can vote however you want. I will not take offense. I'll still love you.
Hashtag free Julia. Katie Bird says a new member. Welcome. Alexis Orr for 499 says it makes sense. Charitable giving is a pillar of Islam. Yes, it is. Yeah. Bronwyn says, who is still giving her money? Honestly, who? I have no idea. I don't know.
We know who they are. We can give you names if you want to know who's giving her money and who is telling everyone else that we're crazy and she's a good person and we're all fucking worse than her. Let us introduce you to Girl World. You want to know Girl World? We can really introduce you to Girl World. And you could see the shit that we get. You could see. But the thing is, tiny little channels and it's easy to bully us, right?
No. I mean, but then again, even for dedicated locals at the bottom.
If you think she's somewhere else, Firewall, please choose the shut the fuck up Farrah option. And I will choose that as like other.
Tier on the forums. They still have some people that will pay them. The Ethan Ralphs of the world.
So sorry, duping.
They still have, even at the bottom of the barrel, they still have people that'll simp for them. Danny Wise says it's illegal for her to work on a tourist visa. I don't know what her visa status is now.
Duping, I don't know what you believe in, but your mom sees you. Your mom knows. I'm so sorry. Big hugs to everyone that doesn't have their family around anymore, but they feel you. They know you still love them and they know you still think about them every day. They have to. There's too much love in us for them wherever they are not to feel it. That's what I believe anyway. Who the fuck knows? That's my opinion.
I don't know what the marital status there is because usually if you're married, then you may have the ability to work. So for example, in Asia, if you're married, you are allowed to work and you're on a marriage visa. So I don't know if she's
it's a marriage visa, but she's on a tourist visa. That is the big problem. That's where the problem starts. Although the problem started in Canada because she got there and they lived together before they were married, right? Married as we know it, right? Wasta. That's where the problem started in Kuwait the second she got there because she lived with him and they weren't married. And then they had to sue the court to get married. Like, I mean, come on.
On a tourist visa, then probably not. But then again, there's a big gray area about streaming. So streaming is something that interesting because streaming people sometimes don't consider work locally. So they don't tend to crack down on it. Yeah. She's not married. Okay.
Oh, that's better.
Fake married.
See.
Okay.
See marriage
okay.
license.
Got it,
yeah.
guys. See, I didn't know about that. I didn't know about the legal status. Once again, I haven't seen the papers.
Big hug.
Okay. Tourist
Don't
visa.
tell Heart.
All right. Tourist visa. Well, that's going to be a problem. That's going to be a problem.
I'm sorry, Joanna.
Yeah. That would be a big problem. Danny Wise says, is it legal for her to work there? So I got that one. Usually it's not. Razor Wire says, going to need a C-130 Hercules to deport her. Apparently they're sending those east. So yeah, maybe they'll have one pick her up and bring her back. John Cheese with a fuzzy nipple said she's going to get poked in the pokey. Oof.
Me too, Battered Zebra. It's been nice.
Bad News Badger said someone should send her an emotional blunt. How about an emotional cabbage? Hold on, we got one here. Emotional cabbage. And says Foodie Beauty is 41, I think. Yeah, she's about 2-3 years older than me. That makes sense. She has serious health issues. Not sure she'll make it a 50, and that's sad. Yeah, weight really does kill your body, and you really got, for yourself, you got to try to work on that. I mean, I myself try to.
Big hug to everybody in the chat. If you're missing your parents today, big hug.
Drop weight right now just because I feel healthier, feel better. Puts a lot of time.
I know, trying to go username.
Farrah Fiasco. Hey, so she gave a false alibi to a man accused of SA. That's bad. Toxic Bay says for $279, if she's deported, who pays travel costs? Canada, and Canada will pay. So what I'm saying is Canada will pay for her to go back. I know it sucks, but I'm here to tell you the truth.
They're only going to give her one seat. She's not going to get the extra meal that she pays for. She's just getting
and Canada does
one seat.
That's, I mean, if you have a problem with that, that's the politics of Canada. So you'd have to, that's for you Canadians to deal with. Eagle, as a member,
forever. She's pretty dumb.
Mindset knows how to roast Foodie like a pro. I'm just stating facts here. Stating facts. The facts may burn though. Unable to flee, too fat. Says so no.
He's too nice to really burn her. This guy's way too nice. He doesn't know enough to be fully disgusted.
Kuwait cabbage farms, sand dune farming, like sandworm farming. Fork Sniffers Anonymous says no physical labor like picking cabbage. No, not this time. Matt Davis says, oh my God, RK is having his best day ever because you're not talking about it. But wait until tomorrow. He's going to be shitting himself tomorrow. Oh, it's going to be real bad tomorrow. Real bad tomorrow.
Yes, it is.
I'm so looking forward to tomorrow. Slam Dunk Funketer as a new member. Welcome. Ruthie for 499 says she fled to Kuwait to avoid testifying as a witness in the case in Canada. She made false alibi statements. It's coming full circle. Now, here's what's saying. Did they hold her in contempt? Did they hold her in contempt for doing that?
Oh, Scar, good luck. Good luck with Fox News. Been there, done that. Have fun, honey. See you soon.
Because if they did, then she might have some consequences coming back. Lily, welcome as a new member. Big Biz for Five says even Cinder has her diehards, and they've been going after Lily. Yeah, exactly. Even people that you would think are the most villainous villain, some people like villains.
You're embarrassed.
And some people want to cheer for the underdog because they see everybody else.
Listen to this.
Cinder has her diehards, and they've been going after Lily. Yeah, exactly. Even people that you would think are the most villainous villain, some people like villains, guys.
Some people like villains, and look, this guy is not a Girl World reaction channel.
And some people want to cheer for the underdog because
some people want to cheer for the underdog.
They see everybody else hating on them, so they instinctively want to defend them. There's always people like that.
There's different reasons for that, but those are the people who pay money to Foodie, who would be willing to spend $100 on a suit on a freaking cameo, who egged her into taking the cat, who say she's not a bad person. It's like, okay, bro. Like
always people like that. What I try to do is I try to be objective and to be fair. And as you see in the chat, if people update me on a fact, I'm willing to think about that. Or if they give me a different perspective, I try to be objective. Now I'm going to have fun. I'm going to engage in the jokes, but I try to be as objective as possible.
Now, listen, I would be willing to sit down with someone and make one giant video about everything that just covers everything. I don't even know where to I would need help, but if anyone's into that, please let me know. Someone that has like the time to help me do it, or like at least the links, I would love to do that. Honestly, you felt sorry for her at first. A lot of us did. Crime and Crochet, a lot of us did.
And I'm not going to say, hey, she's going to get in trouble for something that maybe she wouldn't. We'll go through the list maybe on a future day and say, Brandon, huh? So
Giant Stone, I'm with you there. Like I was fat when I started watching her in 2017. So I like felt like some kind of like fat girl sympathy, call it fat girl empathy, whatever, fat girl like feelings. I understood like it sucks being fat on the internet. And if you want to turn your camera on, you better be gorgeous. Otherwise you're going to be just like crucified. So I had that innate sympathy going into it. And then when I saw it, I'm like, she gives fat people a really fucking bad name. Honestly.
Says, any thoughts on covering the SAG-AFTRA? What's going on now? SAG-AFTRA is always doing something.
Never
like
felt sorry for
10
her.
minutes, there's a SAG-AFTRA.
I did a little bit in the beginning.
Is it any different than last time? Stoic Savage says, in your opinion, as a Muslim country, would Kuwait use her previous OnlyFans as evidence of her character conduct? Yes. So that would be good reputation.
Yeah.
So if they look, a lot of these things, especially in immigration, come down to how they feel about you. And if the immigration judge or officer is aware of that,
big, but still
it's not going to look good for her. And by the way, immigration can use any and all information on you.
But see here, he's so focused on her getting deported, and like, we want to know because listen, the majority of us think she is in Canada, right? She probably is in Canada, probably, right? If she had any common sense, she's in Canada, right? As of right now, or at least out of that area in Kuwait, out of Kuwait, period. I want him to focus, please, sir, please focus on what could happen to her in Canada. That's what I really want to know.
That's the thing about sovereign power. With sovereign power, with immigration, it can look at anything. They can reject you because they just don't like you.
We need to see you before and after.
So yes, they can absolutely consider that. And yes, I think they would if it came down to a decision. Domino's Pizza locked in my...
I'll show you guys tomorrow before and after. I do have a video on here, but it's like buried in my videos. I'll show you guys tomorrow.
I swear. Oh, some of these names.
Really?
I look at them.
No. Wait.
True Tweety.
So,
Max, thank you for gifting 5 channel memberships. Oh my God, that's so kind of you. Thank you, honey. You're so generous, Shax. Welcome, Elizabeth H. Tiny Ghost. Welcome, Sugar, Mama Sug, and Lillis. Thank you so much, Shax. Guys, please show some love for Shax and appreciate send some love to her and give I just lost I kept saying give her props, but I'm looking at him talking about that. Enjoy the burgers and the emojis. Sorry. Took me a second to get that out. All right. Thank you so much, Shax, as always. Appreciate
Thanks
you.
for the free 9 months chat. Callie Ray says she said loophole.
Oh, I'm gonna redo. Listen, tomorrow we're working on the no. We're gonna have a pulpy no on my soundboard, and we might try to work on the emojis too. So yeah.
What does that mean? What the hell does loophole married mean? I don't even know what that means.
See, he doesn't know what loophole means. We got to teach you, man.
Grumpy Fluffy Bunny says she's on a tour season, has been to bribing a judge, Wasta, to get a marriage certificate she won't show. Yeah, that would be very interesting because if that, look, once again, these are the types of things, and I'll tell you this from experience, even here in Thailand. People try to do things cheaply, and they try to do stuff with bribes or whatever, or paying a little bit of money. They always end up screwing them in the end. I always say, and I always tell people, keep your nose clean, both literally and figuratively, and do it the right way. It will pay off in the long run.
My husband and I, it took us 2 years from start to finish of him getting to the United States from England. We waited over a full year, almost a year and a half, hearing nothing. Do you know what that's like? It could happen any day. You never know. You never freaking know when it could happen, saying, hey, you got approved. You can move to the United States. She didn't want to wait. She wanted to do things the shitty fucking go around the law way. And look what happened. Look what happened to her.
They'll pay for the long run. The key says for $13.99, if she's in Canada now, she's untouchable. No, but once again, Kuwait is not going to extradite her over the offenses in Kuwait. They're not serious enough. They're not on the level where they would extradite her. What they would do is ban her from the country, which is pretty bad.
How'd you meet him? On a video game back in 2008. I've known him a very long time.
I mean, she'd never be able to go to Kuwait again. She'd be done with Kuwait. She said
That's
she
not
left
gonna
Canada
matter,
to avoid
though.
her 2 bankruptcies. Oof. Lily says for 14.45 Danish krona, my daughter's in her second year law school, Copenhagen, and she finally watched something GW because your stream. Thanks. Oh, that's awesome. That's awesome. Cool. Well, I wish her the best in law school.
She
I love Copenhagen.
She probably will be. I think if anything else is going to happen, she's going to get banned from Kuwait. I think we could all agree on that. Whatever, regardless of what they find, they're just going to take one look at her, and they know her channel. Now they see everything that she's about. They're going to be like, "Do not come back here," and that's it. She's never gonna go back.
Good cafes. Larry Powers for 5 says, well, she's never used a phone booth and she's never seen her toes. When she goes out to the movies, she takes up 7 rows. Cindy says, we appreciate you looking at the legal side of what Chantal's done illegally. Yes, no, thank you. And if there's
that's what I want to know, Joanne. Like, what's going to happen to her passport? Is there going to be anything on there, even though it happened in Kuwait? Is there going to be anything on there that could possibly like impede her traveling in and out of Canada, even if it's not to the middle, even if it's not to Kuwait? I mean, wouldn't that make sense if you do something so bad that you're deported and asked told never to come back here? You're not allowed back in this country. I don't know. I don't know how that works.
More to look at, please let me know. Please send me my email. My email is andrew_live.
Gulf countries. Yeah, GCC, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
In the chat, you can email me. You can be on X.
Yeah, because Kuwait is in that cooperation with the GCC, with the Gulf Coast countries. That's
The Legal Mindset. Don't be confused. There's a lot of fakers and haters out there, but The Legal Mindset on YouTube, on Twitter, so you can do that. Okay. Oh my God. Somebody also sent me a video. Maybe I have to watch this before we get, this is actually
nice.
Okay, hold on. Okay, we will watch this. My friend Meme Copium sent me this. So we will watch it before the end.
What is this?
Hold on. Here we go. This is in my home country of
you don't think it would impede her exit in Canada? Okay, that makes sense. Yeah.
Okay.
Just
we'll watch it in a second.
Yeah.
She's like Frogan's twice removed cousin. Santiago says, do all the countries share deportation info? Likely this will make travel to no visa places difficult.
Like I'm saying, like, will it make, if she tries, okay, she's obviously, if she goes back on international Tinder, she's going to find another unsuspecting man in a poor area who doesn't have anything, who is going to want her money, right? Would that, like, say she meets someone in Egypt, for example, or wherever, would the Kuwait deportation, or if the Kuwait says whatever, you can't ever come back, would other countries, like say, for example, Egypt, look at that and be like, oh, we see from your passport, you've been in and out of Kuwait every 3 months on a tourist visa. And look how that ended. You've been deported. You're not allowed. I wonder if that has any kind of like implication on that, you know?
Difficult, like there's
Nigeria.
They share on major stuff, but on blacklisting, it generally won't, especially if it's for an offense like this. So if they blacklist her for this, it's not going to be shared widely. She's not a murderer or like an international jewel thief, right? This isn't something they're going to generally put a...
Right, like, because that's what I mean. Like, would, for example, Egypt, or say she goes to Egypt, or no, I'll say England. Say she wants to go to England, no offense. Would England see that Kuwait, like if she applies for a tourist visa to England or Italy or France, wherever, would they see on that passport that she has been deported from a different country before? That's my question. She'd be barred from all the UAE countries too.
Red notice out on her or something like that.
Passport.
Nick Ross says, LawTube meets gorlworld during the Karen Reed verdict watch. This collab is blowing my mind. Hey, listen, I love getting out of my my little shell and getting into different rabbit holes. And this seems like a really fun one. And, you know.
I was just trying to pick a country. I didn't mean like.
It's international, which piques my interest. You know, when things go international,
yeah, James
legal mindset
I mean,
is like, I'm interested in that case. It's more fascinating because it's dealing with different legal systems which apply different metrics, and they may not analyze something like we do in the United States, which to me as an American lawyer is fascinating.
She got a black
the differences in how they handle
it.
Right. Okay, thank you so much, Not Sarah Lee, for 50. Incredibly based. Hold on, we'll use a Rackets.
That's true, sweetie. Because now not only was she running from Canada, now she's running from Kuwait and all the other Middle Eastern countries around Kuwait. So like the world is getting smaller as she gets larger. Kind of honestly, you know, that's kind of what it is.
Thank you for that. So she asked her YouTube chat for PayPal, PP friends and family under the guise of sponsoring her and avoids YouTube's cut, and also violates the terms of service for PayPal most likely. So
she doesn't care about that. There's no legal consequences with that. She does not give a shit. What are they going to do? Kick her off the platform? Do you think Chantal gives a fuck?
A PayPal thing that I think PayPal might want to know. YouTube is her job, but PayPal isn't. So is PayPal a donation? I think she thinks because she's a tourist live streaming, it's no different than TikTok, e-beggars, grifting, and PP. Yeah, and this is the thing. This is the thing. Streaming abroad, you usually get away with it until you do something wrong.
Right. She called attention to herself in the biggest way. There is the biggest spotlight on her right now. How she's going to do in Canada, who knows? Tiny Ghost, that's a great question.
Until you do something wrong, and this is something wrong. Secret Scroll said she recorded the oil fields, then posted it on her channel. She recently deleted it. There's a lot of things you're not supposed to record abroad, and when people record them, they get in trouble. I was at the DMZ in Korea.
If they ban her PayPal, I mean, she would just find another way. She's just going to find another way. Where there's a will, there's a way, and these people are grifters. She is a beggar. She is a fucking criminal. She's a scumbag. They will find a way to milk the system somehow. I promise you. That's what they do. She'll funnel it through Pete. She'll funnel it through her mom. She funneled it through Salah. Like, she's going to find a way to have access to her shit. You better believe it. You know, otherwise she's never going to eat. And if she doesn't eat her weight every day, life is not worth living to her. You know, that's her life.
You cannot record that or take photos, and they will punish you. Misunderstood. So what's the penalty for lying and not being legally married in Kuwait? Well, I think the issue there would be a deportation, most likely. Once again, they're not going to throw her in jail for that, but they would, because she's falsified her papers. That would definitely be something that they would deport her for.
Right, but if she's in Canada, can they still fine her? I want her to get fined. I don't want her to go to jail. Just get fucking fined.
For sure. Grumpy Fluffy Bunny.
Or jail.
If she sends you the Peeps bathtub video, don't watch it. Oh, God. Sussex Bunny says, Scatgate! And Alfred Back says, let's have a moment of silence for Timbit, BBJ, Sam and Julie, and all the good Muslim people who will have to review FB's OnlyFans videos. Oof. Okay, so Meme Copium sent me this one, and it is in my home country of Thailand, and it is her trying to get
this one, guys,
into a boat. And I just want to play this little clip because Meme Copium, my good friend, suggested it, and he is, of course, a gentleman and a scholar on both of his channels.
This is her getting in the boat.
Okay, babe. Oh my God. Your hand? Yalla, go.
Yalla.
No, it's okay. Don't worry. Don't worry, don't worry, don't worry. Don't worry.
Oh my god. Oh my god, that's so scary. I would be so scared.
Yeah, the distribution on that. Who said das boat? Okay, who said das boat? The weight distribution on that, it's not going to be good. I feel really bad for that long-tail boat.
Oh my god. I'm going to end the poll here. I'll see what you guys said. Where is she? 57% said Canada, 34% said Kuwait, and 10% said other. Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares. Thank you guys for voting.
I feel really bad for that long-tail boat. That engine is going to need to be replaced. That said, guys, listen, this has been an awesome episode. Hold on, let me read this one. Moonbeam Speaks Wine says she doesn't read or speak Arabic, only knows what the husband tells her. She spent the last 3 years being willingly clueless. You have a duty to learn. If you don't know the language, you still have to learn. When I lived in Korea, I was still subject to Korean laws, even if I don't speak fluent Korean. Same thing for Japan, Thailand, Philippines, anywhere else in the world where I've been. I know I'm responsible to follow the local laws. And I ask if there's a relevant law. I ask. There's no excuse. Snack says, did she still a kitten? Hi from Scotland. Go back and watch the rest, because right now we're just dealing with the foodie fans that are certainly going to be watching this and coping and seething. But I hope you guys enjoyed it, and I'll see you guys on the next one.
All right, guys, what did you think of him? I liked him. I thought he was very well spoken. I thought he was very fair. When he got like weird comments from our crazy community, like he kind of just like laughed it off and like moved along, which was nice. This is the first time I've ever watched his channel. I'm a new subscriber to him. So if you haven't checked him out, again, his name is the Legal Mindset. That's his name on here. If you want to check his channel out, you'd like to nice eye candy. Look at the girls like, oh, girls like, he's hot. I noticed, girls, he didn't have a wedding ring on. I don't know what his deal is, but he didn't have a wedding ring on, so he might be single. I don't know. Who knows? Maybe he's taken. I don't know. But interesting to see what he comes out with next, if he follows up with her, to see, like, I think he will. I think he saw like a lot of people are interested, like he's can get more people in his community. Like, I think he'll follow up for sure. All right, guys, that's all for me. It's 2:30. We've been here for almost 2.5 hours. I appreciate you all. Thank you so much for being so generous today. Thank you for hanging out in the chat. Thank you for all the girls with the hot pants right now. I understand. Cool yourselves off. Have a drink of water. Go outside. Relax. I will probably be back tomorrow. It might be a little bit later, but I'm not sure. I will keep you guys posted. Thank you for hanging out. Thanks, guys. Love you guys. Have a great day. Bye.